Today is a very special day on the Not Network podcast. We have an in-house studio guest. Not only that, but this guy has done a lot for the Not Network. Little does he know. But we want you to know him, know his story, and know his perspective because it's pretty freaking solid. Check it out, Jeb Pasillas. It's more of like, yeah,
It's conversation.
yeah. It's like if it, fuck it. So, to start us off, it's me and Matthew and one more person in the room with us. Little did y'all know that we know people outside of Zoom.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
really crazy. But here's this guy. Let me tell you this story. Story about in the month of September. Jimmy over here, he goes and applies for Tesla, and he tries really hard and tries to get after this dream goal. And what's that dream? It is to work for a fucking badass company like Tesla. Mr. Elon Musk. If there was a chance, a glimmer of hope to meet this man, Jimmy was going to take it. So he applied to Tesla, and he strived for it. After getting an email from, I think, a Mrs. J, or a Miss J, excuse me, he was so stoked, and she said, everything will be back in a week. A week later, nothing happened. So Jimmy tried profusely to try to get in contact with this Miss J to get a job at Tesla. Now, this is a week job. Long story short, we get there. We arrive on scene, dressing up in the best clothes that we have, which is a black polo with the sleeves rolled up and jeans and Converse.
It's nothing much.
No, I was the only one wearing a, what was it, Easter color palette t-shirt. Pastel. Wearing maybe shorts, I don't know, maybe jeans and some Vans. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. It's not about the clothes, it's about the person here. So, when I first walk in, I'm seeing, the whole team, they're gathered and they're getting ready to go. And then I see this guy, he's walking up and his head is practically just shaved off. He's looking like a stone cold killer. And I'm a little intimidated, to be honest. I'm like looking at this guy and I'm looking at me and like, this is a temp job. And I'm like, who's going to get this? Are they going to like go for the guy in Easter color pastels? Or are they going to go for this like hardcore motherfucker? And just, by basic just workflow, we get started. And this guy, we introduce ourselves. I say, hi, my name is Jimmy. I don't know what I said. I think he probably said it first because he was there. He was there a day more than me. He said, my name is Jeb. And that is the day that I met Jeb. And so, long story, but I would like to introduce a man in my room in the Not Network podcast studio that is with me and Matthew. His name is Jeb. Jeb, I have one question to ask you. Jeb, how are you, King?
I am doing fantastic.
What a great intro that was.
I'm
wasn't
doing
it?
fantastic.
Didn't
That's
that just make you
awesome.
feel special?
I felt bubbly inside.
I think we all did.
I wanted to say more. I wanted to say that when my first impression of you, Jeb.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Jeb's this badass designer who has actually
Why am I on your podcast? This is a designing
focused.
focused.
Yes. Artsy.
Love
so
art, man. Creative
yeah,
people.
so
Creative things.
I guess maybe that's why I was saying the intro. It's like because when we got to talk to each other, so like I'm intimidated, right? I'm intimidated by this guy. His biceps are the size of my calves at this time. This guy's so fucking swole. Holy shit. So I see him, and we're just chilling. We're trying to work. We're trying to do the best we can because we want this job, right? It's an interim job, and was that going through your mind of like, was there did you ever think that you would work at Tesla when taking that job?
Well, I applied for the gallery advisor,
Mm-hmm.
and they hit me back. I'm not sure how long afterwards, asking me if I wanted this temp job, and I was like, yeah, why not? I'll do this temp job. It's only a week, so it's not going to take away from me applying to other jobs because I was jobless at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I took it. I was excited to go take it. Possibly drive some Teslas and got to drive all of them.
Mhm.
Got to meet you, and
Yeah, you did.
yeah, and I'm here,
Aw.
and it was a great moment.
A great moment. When I first met Jeb, also, apparently everybody at the Fort Worth location of Tesla speaks Spanish, and then Jeb whips out just some Espanol, and it's just like I'm the only other temp there, and I'm like looking around, and I kind of look a little Hispanic, and so they're like, hey, ¿qué pasa? And I'm like, what? Excuse, no, no comprende Espanol. But I was like, I was really taken back by that. Honestly, just because everybody else knew it, I was like, did I miss something?
Felt
Was
left
there
out.
like a requirement that I didn't know?
No, I was surprised that I would say like 80% of the people that worked there knew Spanish and were talking Spanish while working, and people that didn't look like they spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah,
Like Isaac, I think was his name.
yeah,
Like
Isaac with the
completely
curly hair.
Yeah, completely white, and he
Yeah.
looked like this skater guy.
Yeah,
I remember him always saying like something about Funky Town. Let's get it down in Funky Town, boys.
Wow. So he spoke Spanish?
he spoke Spanish, and
Yeah.
then the other advisor guy,
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Neve.
Neve, yes, and he had longer hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spoke Spanish as well.
He said words I will never forget. Something about buddy, or what? Get it on, buddy. Right on, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. And
That's
you'll,
what he'd
You'll
say.
never forget that.
Yeah. Have you texted them before, or after?
I have not texted them after. I follow Isaac on Instagram. I follow both of them on Instagram.
Damn, Isaac didn't give me the handle.
Yeah.
I got Neve's. I got his. But yeah, that was wild. So, and I remember this clearly, is that when we started working a little bit more together, and I think it was our first ride together in the Tesla. Was it a cherry red Tesla?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
We were going to Dallas or Plano.
I'm thinking of a different scenario, but we're gonna get to that Plano
Yeah,
ride.
go for it.
Because also the thing about Jeb here is that he asks some fucking amazing questions. That's what I was also really scared about too, is because when going in a temp job, like you want to be the best, you want to be hot shit, you want to be on your fucking A game. When I went there, I was like, shit. He started asking the most brilliant questions, and that's what I really just kind of am taken back, is that the way you phrase your questions, you're not just looking at the surface, you're just taking it a step deep. Like, I like to go deep, but sometimes I get a little bit too deep, and it's like a little uncomfortable. It's like, Jimmy, why would you ask that totally personal question to me?
Right.
But Jeb, he knows the balance. He goes right in there. And so he started asking me questions like, so what do you like to do? What are you into? And I told him I'm into 3D design. He's like, dude, I'm into design too. And I was like, no shit. Like, first I'm thinking like, this guy's my enemy. Like, I have to crush him, and
Your
then
nemesis.
and then he's talking about design, and I'm like, wait a second, maybe I can change my feelings about this man.
It's that ego.
It's that ego, dude.
Uh-huh.
Because I was trying to be hot shit, and
Mhm.
dude, you're fucking right. It's my ego. It's my ego. And by the way, we have just to get the vibes right. I'm just gonna lay this right here.
Oh, let me read that for you. That's a Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink on the counter right now.
You have to read it in his voice.
Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
Jocko.
And then Echo's voice is like,
Edited by Jocko. Edited by Echo.
it's like this. I don't know. I didn't know he was big either.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, that's wild. But we start. So what Jeb was talking about earlier is this ride on Plano. It was just me and him. It was nice. It was really nice. I don't know why I took a deep breath there, but
I don't know. It made it kind of sensual. I don't know what's gonna happen. on this
honestly, okay. If
We
we're
rubbed
being...
legs a little bit.
ride. You put on the autopilot and you were good to go.
I think it is when I think you get you bond with somebody when you talk about your dreams.
No, you're right.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're totally right. It's just a funny idea.
Yeah, you just looked me right in the eyes when you said that, and
Um,
after talking about the sensual thing, it just caught me off guard.
do you feel uncomfortable when I look into your eyes?
Only after you say certain things. But
What about
let's-
you, Jeb?
I feel totally comfortable.
Yeah. See,
Now
this
I
is
feel
telling.
uncomfortable. It's going in this triangle.
So
here.
what happened on this
anyways,
ride to Plano?
Yeah. So
Sponsored by Nos.
So anyways, what happened on this ride to Plano is that we started talking about like influencers and people we like. So we're obviously like we're working at Tesla,
Right.
and we think Elon Musk is a fucking king,
Right.
which he is. And this is before like NFT shit, and before his freaking honey bunny wife decided to hop in on the NFTs. So we just loved Elon. We loved his work ethic. We loved everything kind of about him. And then we started talking about, okay, so where'd you first see Elon and stuff? And then we got on Joe Rogan. But Jeb, I want you to tell this story of like what you remember, because I feel like you have a stronger memory than me.
Okay, so I don't clearly remember what we said at what points in our interactions, but I do remember the car ride. That was our first interaction where I was like, "Oh, this kid's cool. Like we have some of the similar
Same interest.
So I was asking questions just to see what interests you had. I guess to see if some of my interests aligned with your interests before I even really spoke about my own.
Mm-hmm.
I was just letting you talk because you were, you're a talker. And
yes, I am.
And it was
Thank you, King.
It was very, very enjoyable to hear your excitement for the things that you were talking about. But then I remember, the thing I more so remember is whenever we were washing a car, or you were washing a car, I went over there to go help you. And then I was just asking you some more stuff about what you said in the car ride earlier.
Right.
And then I think that's whenever you told me you were into design and some of the other people that you liked. I think that's whenever you told me about Jocko. And I was like, oh, like you listen to Jocko. So like from that point, I was like, I knew we had some more of like similar ingrained ethos from Jocko. And if you knew Jocko, I'm sure you heard of David Goggins, and if you heard of them, like you've in the circle of people that I am familiar with as well. So found you very, very intriguing. And then whenever I saw your work on Instagram, I also was just even more intrigued. I liked what you were doing on there. And yeah,
I'm pretty sure I talked mad shit because when we were exchanging Instagrams, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to do this daily art thing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to model.
Oh, you were doing the dailies back then.
Yeah. So, I was trying to get back on the dailies because I was modeling, and then like rendering is like it's its own beast. I'm very not great at modeling. So you getting some? Do you want some of this? Oh. Okay. I was just curious. Because now I'm amped. I'm fired up just to talk. But yeah, so we started exchanging Instagrams, and then I saw your vector art with your shoes, and that I don't think I've ever seen your portfolio. But like when I was looking at that, and it was kind of like what I noticed with you is continuity and themes, is that you stuck to like a certain kind of vibe, and I'm all over the place. So continuity and structure is highly like I like that. Like I like looking at people because that's kind of like what I want to attain to. So but yeah, that's what I saw when we started.
Yeah, so that was from my Instagram page where I started posting sneaker vectors, or just vector illustrations of sneakers that I like or have some sort of story tied to them. I've either had them, or there was one where I tried to purchase it, and like I went on the sneakers app that Nike has, and the second it went live, I tried buying them, and it just kept crashing, so it just didn't work.
Damn.
Yeah, so all of them had some sort of story tied to them as to why I decided to do those. And I showed you those, and the reason why they're so structured is because I was wanting to initially build a page out that had people going to it that wanted to see sneakers, that wanted to have this content in their feed. So you just got to keep giving them the same content. That's why people are there. So it wasn't so much for it wasn't a portfolio site.
Right.
So that's why it wasn't so, different and different variations of it. It was all had a very similar pattern all throughout.
Yeah. And I liked your approach toward branding, but yeah, that was our time at Tesla. It was a fun time at Tesla.
Yeah.
Any takeaways from working at Tesla?
Biggest takeaway was watching Miss Jennifer. She was the manager there, and she was a strong leader and really seemed like she really cared for her team,
Yeah.
even her team of temporary workers, which were there for a week at the most.
Yeah.
And she would get people excited, and she would get people to enjoy being there. And I think that was the biggest thing of just getting your employees excited to work at your workplace. Second thing would be the culture of everyone that's there, all the
Yeah.
employees that were there, even though they're only there part-time or for a week, they would still work hard the entire time. Like, no one had a bad attitude. Everyone there wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it seemed like. That's what it seemed like to me. So there wasn't any sense of, just that guy that has a bad attitude. And I love that about that place.
Yeah, we even saw somebody, one of the temps, get a flat tire, and on their lunch break had to go and get their tire fixed. And I mean, he was still stoked to work.
Right.
Like, he came back, and that's the thing, is that Jennifer was such a great person. And like, I tried not to take a lunch break, and she's like, no, you're gonna take care of yourself and go get some lunch, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's really cool, and that's crazy. Is that, like, you wouldn't think that, like, a hardcore corporation would treat their employees like that. That's surprising to me.
It seems pretty rare, I would feel like, and especially for something like you're talking about, a temp job.
Yeah.
For a week, and people are excited to be there. I mean, I guess I get that on some level, because you can, like, see, like, the end in sight. You're only going to be there for 7 days or 5 days or whatever it is, and you're there to do a specific job for a specific amount of time. But it seems like it really made, like, an impact on you guys in some way or another, because you were able to, like, connect on some type of level. And so you guys, how did you get into the next phase of this relationship?
Why we're here right now.
Why we're here right now.
I guess, Jimmy, tell your part first, and then I'll give the rest of the backstory.
My part.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I have such a crappy memory. So what I remember is, so after following each other, I just honestly remember you hitting me up and you being like, dude, that's dope, or like you commenting on my page and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm honestly, like, when you're creating things and you're just like kind of, I won't even say tunnel vision, but when you create something, you put it online, like, you really pay attention to who comments, who likes, who puts that time and effort, especially if you're creating daily stuff. And like, Jeb started doing that, and I was like, okay, I like you. Like, I already liked him before because we talked about, Jocko, we talked about Gary Vee, and like you were saying before, is that we had the same kind of ethics, kind of lined about, like, hard work, how to attain it, taking care of yourself, and especially health, which I also want to talk to you, because I think you're a healthy dude. And also, we need to talk about sleep and also time. Okay? I need to keep those in. I'm writing these down. So
I don't know if you guys know, but Jimmy has this little pocketbook he carries with him, and he just writes little list things. He has lists in there, and that's one thing I admire about Jimmy. He has a list of things he has to get back to, and I actually started a list the other day, inspired by you.
No way.
Wow.
It was on my phone though. It wasn't on paper.
It's still good.
Yeah, and I was like, let me just write these down. Like, so I wrote them down, and then I'm so happy I wrote all of them down, or if not, I would have forgot them, and I would have not got them done. But I was able to go back to them, got the stuff that I needed for shopping, and then got some stuff that just took some to-dos, just off the list. All thanks to you.
Wow.
Dude, that's what I love, is that, like, strategies and stuff, and that's what I want to get out of this. It's like, Jeb, I want to find your secrets. I want to know. I want to know what you've been keeping aside for everybody else.
I want to know, Jeb, what you think about this wall here of serial killer sticky notes and red yarn.
It's detective.
It's not detective.
You can't say I'm a serial killer.
I've said it over and over, and I'm sticking by it.
So if someone comes back and accuses Jimmy for killing them, then we know it was definitely him.
Yeah, and it's plastered all over his wall.
Jeb, I love the calmness in your voice when you said that.
It was him all along. Yeah. So when you
what
walked
is
in
it?
here,
I saw it and I just assumed he had some sort of intricate plan that he was trying to achieve.
Like a heist.
Yeah, like some evil genius mastermind.
So I have everything blocked out in color code. So I have sticky notes on my wall, and some of them are attached by red yarn, and you can actually, Jeb, if you turn behind you, right above is a spool of red yarn.
Yeah. That's a big spool.
It is. Yeah, dude. Walmart doesn't sell small spools of yarn. I'm so pissed off. Like, I paid like $2 extra for that.
No.
Dude. I have to find. Anyways. So, the green represents being healthy and kind of physical activity.
Okay.
So, one of my goals is to, I don't want to say my biggest goal because I don't like flexing that. It's at the very top. I can't even read it because I'm not wearing glasses right now.
Sure.
I'm blind as fuck.
Sounds unattainable.
Exactly. Dude, dreams are supposed to be like, you can't get them tomorrow. You can't get them in a month. You can't get them in a year. They're supposed to be lofty. Dream big. And that's what you make goals for, is those stepping stones to accomplish that dream. So one of those up there that has a check mark, it says 10-mile run. So I have never ran. Last year, 2020, in March, the farthest I ran was 9 miles. And so I wanted to get to 10 miles. So it was by repetition of having these small goals, which on the bottom it says run to the square, which is 4 miles away. Then it has, I think, run 5 miles, so 4 miles and 5 miles, and then that top is 10. So by achieving these little goals, I get to the big one, and then it's the next step. And I think what you're gonna find similar is it's that reoccurring, it's that persistence in those goals, and making them easy for yourself, that it makes the bigger goals and then the dream much easier to attain.
Right.
Which is why I kind of was like, you run every single day, which is why this morning I asked that question of you running, because I was like, I set that goal for myself too.
Yeah. So I've been running every single day this month, just this month, just 1 mile. 1 mile, I can get it under 10 minutes. How much is 10 minutes taken out of your day relative to like the time you bullshit on your phone? So it just seems like, why wouldn't I do it? Why wouldn't I go? I'm about to go to bed. It's like 9:30 or so. It's like, I can get this mile done in under 10 minutes, come back, be in bed by 10. And I feel so much better after getting that mile done, that why wouldn't I just do it?
Right.
And yeah, so I've missed maybe 2 days out of this month, maybe 1. No, it was 2. It was 2 for sure. And I think this 1 mile a day has been my favorite thing about this month specifically. There was last year I ran 100 miles in 1 month.
Holy shit.
So I think that equated to about like 3.5 miles per day, around that.
Really?
I want to say.
Yeah, because there's 30 days in a month. So
Right.
There is 30
like
days
3.5 miles or so would get you there, almost
Yeah.
4.
So that
I
was
had no idea.
that was nice to do. Like at the end of the month, I felt accomplished. But I think that was inconsistent, because I'd run 3 days in a row. Then like maybe I have a bad back, so my back's a little sore, or maybe at some point I ran 7 miles with a friend, and then my fucking lower back was killing me. So I just waited like 3 days before I ran again. And so I had to incorporate walking the 3 miles instead of just running the 3 miles. So it kind of hindered my ability to actually run them all. And I just used that walking to at least get me out and still get those steps in and still get that mileage in. And but the 1 mile a day is not as hurtful to your body, because running sucks on your body.
Yeah,
Running is just terrible for your body.
It's contact.
Yeah.
Very
And
high impact.
but it's not so much running that you're gonna ruin your body by running every single day. It's only a mile.
That's a really interesting distinction that you bring up, because Jimmy was just talking about like these small goals that bring up to these little more lofty ones. And then when you say running a mile every single day, for some people sounds very daunting.
Right.
But then you said it takes 10 minutes out of your day. And like when you said that, I was like, wow, that really almost seems like nothing, because it kind of is in the whole grand scheme of things. And most people can do a mile in 10 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, or
Most
if
people
not,
can.
15.
15,
Yeah,
totally. You
20.
can,
at the
you
max.
can walk one in 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, like, if you look at it that way, that also kind of is a good frame of reference of, like, instead of telling myself, oh, I have to run a whole mile today, it's like, or I could just run for 10 minutes
Right.
and see how far I get, and
For
you'll
sure.
probably get a mile.
For sure.
Or if you say, I want to run 100 miles this month. When you said that, I was like, damn, that's a lot. And you were like, it ends up to be like 3.5 miles a day. It's like, that's much more attainable,
Mhm.
it seems like. But it's still the same goal. So kind of breaking your goals down into more attainable bite-sized bits of information for your brain to digest, even though if it may be the same goal, can help you a lot too.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought.
And Matthew, you said this before, but it's like, and I think you said, maybe your dad said this to you, but it's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Never said that in my
Really?
entire life.
Oh my
No.
goodness.
Not once.
Are
Not
you
my
serious?
dad, not me.
I
Mm-mm.
swear.
I have heard that saying though.
Okay.
I've heard that too, but I've
Okay.
never said it.
Okay,
thanks.
so it was. I heard it somewhere. Okay, my uncle said it to me. I know that when I was trying to do my Eagle Scout project, he said, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time, and it's like you don't even like with something as so simple as a mile. It's that day by day practice, and it's that day, even if you missed a day, like
Right.
sometimes like when we miss that one day, there's a point that we can go from. We can stop because we missed one, or we can keep continuing the mark because it's not really the activity that we're doing. It's about like the mindset that we have of, I'm going to do it because I told myself I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold myself accountable.
Discipline.
It's having that discipline.
Yeah,
Discipline equals freedom.
Right. So, which brings me to my next point, that the mile a day hasn't been so much. It's been helpful to my health wise and like the way I feel, but it's been more helpful to my feeling of accomplishment and feeling of building up my discipline.
Mhm.
So that's been really helpful.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
the mile hasn't even been so much about health or fitness. It's been more so about discipline, about just building the discipline.
So this discipline bleeds into other avenues of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any avenues you're talking about specifically?
I'm talking about, well, you said like it's not about just the health, right?
Right.
It's about the discipline and other things. And I look at you as a pretty disciplined guy, because me myself, I do not prepare. And okay, this sounds simple, but it's literally the hardest shit to ever do. But like meal prep
Yeah.
or meal contemplation of like what I put in my body. Is this going to help me in the long run for tomorrow or the next day and the next day? And because you do that, you are very conscientious of what you put in your body, and it's not so much about. You said this one thing. You were like, when somebody brought in donuts, you're like, you're terrible. How dare you bring these in? How dare you tempt me today? And you're like, you know what? I accept it. I'm not gonna touch it. And so it's just like something as small as that, but it's funny that you treat it like kind of like a game too. Is that the
totally.
discipline is like, you're gonna have fun with it. Like, how far can I go?
Yeah. I never thought about that, but I actually do.
Mhm.
So good observation.
Yeah.
I totally treat it like a game. Like whenever I see stairs and then it's either stairs or the elevator, I'm most likely gonna take the stairs. I want to say 8 out of 10 times. And like at my apartment, like it just always takes the stairs. My girlfriend hates that I always want to take the stairs.
She like the elevator?
She likes the elevator. Well, and I have this one story, but I don't want to embarrass her. And yeah, just them bringing donuts to work. At my previous job, they also brought food to work all the time. It was typically more so food than donuts, so I'm a little bit more okay with food.
Mm-hmm.
But
Donuts.
I just know I'll overeat at any point, and I've been really trying to control that overeating, because I feel like that's what has been hindering my own fitness goals. It's just the overeating. I just overeat all the time. But going back to your meal prep thing, I've just ate certain foods for a long time. Being in a Mexican household, it was just always eating beans all the time. And now that I'm older, I've looked up beans, and beans are really healthy for you. So beans have been a staple in my diet.
Oh.
And I've had other foods that are kind of staples in my diet that I think are pretty decent to eat, close to every single day. So, some people like variety, but I kind of somewhat view food as just fuel. So it doesn't really matter what I'm putting into my body as long as I have this set food that I know is healthy, and I'm just going to continue eating that food, like whether I'm tired of it or not.
Yeah.
I just eat that shit.
See, like that's the important thing for people on a diet. And I'm no fitness guru by any means, so like don't take any of this as fact, but this is how I view it. Like whenever people decide to kind of view it as fuel instead of something that's I guess my point is food is amazing and everybody loves eating food. Like it's
a representation.
It's just how it is. Yes, it's cultural. It's culturally significant. And in the United States, it's much more of a comfort than in many other
for sure
countries around the world. Like it's used for celebrations and things, but like people around the world don't just like snack on shit all day like we do, I feel like. And like it's so much easier to do that because this is just really salty or really sugary and it fucking tastes good. I like it in my mouth. But like it really affects you in a lot of negative ways. But whenever you're thinking of it as fuel, is eating this donut, this is not providing me any sustenance, one. And this is like 10 grams of sugar on this little fucker too. So it's like I just shouldn't eat it, even though it'll make me feel good in my brain. It's not gonna make my body feel good.
For sure. Because like those donuts, I'll just think about the calories. I'll probably be eating at least minimum 250 calories. I'll be thinking like probably 30 grams of sugar.
Exactly. For like 5 bites of food.
Yeah. And it's just not feeling like that donut is gonna crunch or it's gonna crunch into your mouth and it's gonna be so flat. There's no substance to it, caloric wise or just nutrition wise, but even in your mouth, it just feels flat.
It's all air.
It's all air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's delicious, but
it is delicious.
It's just because of the
That's
sugar.
The problem.
Sugar's in everything, and that's what we get addicted to.
Sugar and salt, man.
Dude, I'm still so pissed at Michelle Obama. Y'all know what she did? She made the food plate. Okay, props to her for making the food plate, but she had Dude, I saw this on FU. I saw this Netflix documentary, okay?
Okay.
All right, so she did this whole I'm not going to say the whole thing. To boil it down, okay? Because I still want to give Jeb the time to tell his story. To boil it down, what happened is that there was an opportunity to condemn the masses of the corn companies, the sugar companies, high fructose corn syrup. And there was instead of striking them down and saying this is abhorrent and we don't support this, what we did is the government made a deal with them and said, we won't condemn your products. And this is kind of like the struggle with, governmental powers and corporations working together. But Coca-Cola made a deal with parts of the health administration saying, you're not going to vilify our brand. And in return, we are going to pay for everything for you. And so we're saying sugar's bad, but we're not saying what specific company is killing us.
Money talks, man.
Exactly. And that's just some anger I have. And by you saying food is fuel, you have just rekindled a part of my brain that I had when I went vegan for like 2 weeks. That it is fuel. Like when you're not eating with like other people, it's not really a community. It's to get a job done. And I kind of forget about that. Because like you said, Matthew, it's comfort. It's comfort. That's what it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know where to go from here, but I have heard somewhere in the past that the government subsidizes the corn syrup that all these companies use in their food products. So for example, that's why soda is so cheap, because that corn syrup is subsidized.
Jimmy's angry now.
Sorry to make that flame a little bigger there.
Okay, honestly, like with the time that we have in our lives, and if we know, like, to me, this is a fucking injustice. Like, because I used to be an obese, fat little kid, okay? I used to be a little chonkers, dude. I was a dense boy.
I'm there with you, man.
Yeah?
I was fat up until, I want to say freshman year. Freshman year of high school.
Dude, freaking
Did you have a nickname?
No, I was never bullied.
That's good.
You were never bullied.
Never bullied.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bold claim.
I was a cool kid.
Jeb is pretty freaking cool.
Jeb's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all can't see it. He has this fresh cut too. Just gotta gas you up, dude.
Appreciate it.
No, but I had a nickname. I was called. No, I didn't have a nickname. It was Jumbo Jim.
Was that self-given to you?
No, I did not.
Jimmy was bullied.
I was bullied. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
Jumbo
it
Jim was
was
a
in
target.
theater class, and I'm not gonna put you on blast in case you ever listen to this, but people who went to my school know her name.
You know who you are.
Oh, dude, it's so hard for me not to be bitter, but I love to just kind of just wade in that pool of just toxicity, I guess. But it was like we were in theater class and we were coming up with alliteration names, and so like Joy right next to me, our friend Joy, she already got jubilant joy, jubilous joy. What other adjective is there for a J? I was next,
Jubilous.
okay? And so like the person next to me, they couldn't figure it out, and so Mr. Snodgrass, our theater teacher, he was like, okay guys, what can we do? How can we got a problem. We don't have a J adjective for Jimmy. And then,
that's terrible.
Why don't we call him Jumbo Jim?
Ouch.
Dude, I was like, that's so funny. I was so embarrassed.
You were in the bathroom and cried.
Oh my goodness, I was so mad.
Dude.
What grade was that?
It's terrible.
This was 7th grade, and this was like a point in my life where like I knew I was big, but like and this get into sports and basketball and why I like basketball, because I know nothing about basketball, but Jeb does, and I've asked Jeb, I think one time, can you educate me on basketball? But this is one of the reasons why, is because I had a coach in school, and he actually believed in me. He's like, dude, you're short, and that means you can be point. And so I was like, okay, bet.
Okay.
And so like I was the second point. I wasn't the best one. There was this other kid who was shorter and faster and better. And
Was he bigger?
No, we were pretty much the same size. Now he's bigger. He's fucking huge, and he's jacked too. Like, good for him. But like he put effort, he put time, and he said, you know what? That's how I work. Like if you put time and if you invest in me, then I'm just gonna fucking really go like really hard. So I don't know. That was my tangent. How did you get out of
Being fat?
being a big boy?
Basketball.
Jumbo Jeb.
Jumbo Jeb. That one fits.
That works.
Yeah, it was definitely basketball. Just playing basketball every single day. Oh, I moved from LA to Texas, and then
let's tell us your story.
Your origin story.
Story. I'm from Los Angeles originally. I was born there.
Shout out to LA.
Shout out to LA. Shout out
Lakers
to
fan?
Definitely. I was
Hell yeah.
Lakers fan since I was in, I believe, 4th grade. I still remember the 01-02 championship T-shirts that the kids at my school used to wear, and I was like, those look so cool. And then people were playing on the
Kobe
court
and Shaq,
there,
man.
and yeah, Kobe and Shaq. And ever since then, I just started watching on TV and just got hooked watching basketball. Just reading everything I could about Kobe Bryant, everything I could about the Lakers, getting all the newspaper clippings to read about the team.
Nice.
Yeah. So origin story, I'm from LA, and then I moved to Texas. And I graduated from Boswell High School in Fort Worth. Went to TCC Northwest for 2 years.
Shout out.
Wait, the fuck?
I told you this before, but you probably forgot now.
No, I definitely
Damn, I had
did
no
forget.
idea.
Like
Yeah.
I knew you went to Boswell, but TCC.
On
Yeah.
the same
Dude,
campus as us, too.
I literally missed you. Like not only like in a distance way when I went to school, but like in also like years. Like I was so close.
Yeah.
Dude, it's such a small world.
Well,
dude.
when were you at TCC? What years?
I graduated high school 2011, and then I went to TCC right away. So
Okay, it was like 2012, 2013.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
then
a few years too late.
and then I transferred over to Texas A&M Commerce,
Mm.
which is in Commerce, Texas. And I graduated there in May of 2016. And so why I'm even on this podcast, I got into design. So I got into design.
I have no fucking clue.
I got into design. I believe my junior year, I had a internship at the marketing department. We were working to launch a new degree there, business analytics, and I had to come up with some flyers. So I torrented Photoshop, and then
oh my goodness.
Every single person we talked to.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I torrented Photoshop. I just started trying to make, some stupid flyers, and then I ended up making like some meme flyers. Like, there were memes basically, and some of the professors really liked the memes. I remember one of them specifically. There was this Asian professor there who was kind of heading the whole business analytics launching, and he loved this one meme of Leonardo DiCaprio throwing the money and on the Wolf of Wall Street scene off the yacht. And I had a meme with that photo and a caption about how business analytics makes you money or something. I forgot what it said. And he would always say that, like, bring up that meme every time I saw him. And
you made an impact.
I made an impact on him, I guess.
Through the memes.
And then the sad part was whenever he asked me about me transferring over to business analytics, I told him I was not going to do that. Like, I wasn't planning on doing that.
Oh, no.
He didn't talk to me after that ever again.
You broke his heart.
I broke his heart, man.
Ouch.
Heartbreaker.
And let's see what happened with that. So I made a few flyers around campus for some of my friends, and then I ended up getting an internship the following year at this toy company near my school called Hexbug.
Oh.
So it's like these little
Heard of that.
toy
They,
insects.
like, crawl around, kinda,
Yeah.
like, right?
Yeah. So I ended up getting hired on there to do social media work. So I did social media for like 6 months or so. Then they moved me into the graphics room where I hung out with all the other graphic designers and some of the other marketing people, and that's where I kind of started picking up Illustrator here and there because I would have to edit files sometimes. And that's kind of where I picked up the camera a little bit, how to shoot a few product photography shots. And I just kind of learned from there. I left that job, did some gun photography for a little bit, just did some freelance work, tried to further my knowledge in Illustrator. Took a course with Christo off the Future.
Shout out Mr.
Christo, yeah, he's great. He's intimidating, but he's great. And
intense.
So then after that, I worked at this marketing agency in Irving, and now I'm here. Now I'm at Lucid Audio, working for Etymotic and West Tone Audio, and liking what I do right now.
Frick yeah.
Yeah.
Frick yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. So that makes a lot more sense because right before this, I stalked your Instagram, and
well, I deleted a lot of my stuff from like a long time ago because I used to have a lot of stuff on there. I just took everything off. So it's a very short glimpse into my life there.
Yeah, you definitely. I saw the. It makes more sense when I saw the New York City the awards, the toy
awards.
Yeah, DKA.
That was for my girlfriend's brother-in-law. He makes toys.
No way.
He makes some badass toys, and he had this award show in New York. He was one of the nominees. So that's why I was there.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was Hexbug. You have a toy kind of related atmosphere that you went through. So
no,
I thought that was
toy
connected.
family.
Toy family, yeah.
Toy Story.
Wow.
What is up?
Now we're playing with some different toys in our ears. These little West Tone Audio.
Dude, yeah, we are.
In-ear monitors.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out to Jeb for getting me a job.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was getting at earlier. Like, you guys had this Tesla temp job. I didn't even know that.
Right.
And then.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
shoot.
did he actually? I was getting at, like, did Jeb actually get you this job?
At Tesla?
No. At
Lucid?
At Lucid. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jeb put oh my goodness, dude. I bombed my interview.
No.
I was so bad. And I think we talked about this today. How just absolutely terrible was. My intro email was, if I get this job, I owe Jeb a beer.
Dude.
And I misspelled something. I said own instead of O, like OWN instead of OWE. And I was just like, during the interview, we were talking about like social media, and our boss was like, so, when you're making social posts, just making sure like grammar and everything is spelled correctly and stuff like that. And then like I slid in, don't pay attention to my subject email. And then I got them to laugh a bit, and I was like, pressure's down. Okay, I got them to
nice
laugh.
One.
Oh, man.
And you acknowledged your mistakes, so that was nice as well.
Yeah. I think there is a balance. How do you feel about acknowledging kind of mistakes? Because what I see is that with ego, there's a balance of ego, right? You have to have a certain amount of pride in your work,
right?
And then you also have to have humility. Where does that line stand? I tend to lean over to the, and I'm not trying to suck my own dick here, but to the humble side. Just that sound in the background. That'd be impressive though if I could talk and do that. Anyways, what was I saying?
Yeah, that was definitely me doing that for you.
He's had a lot of practice.
Thank you. Where was I? Oh yeah, humility. Being humble. I tend to kind of not show my pride a lot. To my disadvantage actually. So I'm curious on your thoughts on kind of where's a good balance to get. And I know that's a very broad question and that's kind of like hard to answer, but I'm interested in your perspective on it.
My opinion on how much humility to show.
The balance between ego and humility.
In regards to making mistakes in design work, or in regards to life?
Actually, that's a good point because it's different in different contexts.
Right.
Right. So I would say, fuck it, let's go into the weeds. Let's talk about mistakes and then design work.
Okay, mistakes. I mean, just owning the mistake, just acknowledging you made the mistake is probably the best thing you could do, because everyone else saw that you made the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And if you acknowledge the mistake, you show that you're self-aware,
mm-hmm.
and showing that you're self-aware is probably a lot more valuable to yourself and to the other people around you, because you messed up and you're self-aware that it was incorrect, so you're going to most likely mitigate that next time and try to correct course
mm-hmm.
in the future. Because if you're not seeing those mistakes, or you're not acknowledging them, you're kind of brushing them under the rug or seeing them not as important, and you're going to probably make the same mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe next time you'll be even less self-aware at that point. It's almost kind of like lying to yourself over and over. You kind of start to believe it, or you kind of start to not see it anymore. But design wise, I mean, it applies exactly the same to design. I think you acknowledge you made a mistake in design, or you acknowledge you made a typo. You ask for forgiveness if you need to ask for forgiveness, or actually not even ask for forgiveness. Really, you just correct it. You just fix what you got to fix. Mm-hmm. And if you can't fix it for whatever reason, it's like, I acknowledge I made a mistake, and you just move forward.
I like that answer. I like how you articulated it too. For me being bad with words, not only grammatically but also speaking. I really like how you said that. But what about when it comes to, I guess, the part about confidence? If you have to say being a leader, or like you have a team, and I wouldn't say you need to show you're the top dog, but you need to show that you are in control, but you are open to like other people's ideas. Like you need to know that you have the skills to pay the bills. Where's humility in that regard? Does it apply in the same way?
I think it applies pretty similar.
Okay.
I think acknowledging whenever you don't know something is sometimes the best thing to do. And just being as prepared as possible
mm-hmm.
for that. And I think communicating that to the team, that you don't know what to do, but like there is still a plan in trying to figure that out. I think it's probably the best course of action.
I think, like, you know how people say you have to be comfortable with mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes I would take that as like relaxed enough to let yourself make mistakes, but I think it's more of like whenever you do make a mistake, like you said, you have to like acknowledge it, because if you don't acknowledge it, like other people know that you made the mistake, and now you look like you're not self-aware, and you look like you're just trying to avoid it. and it's a lot better to actually own up to it, face it, and the being comfortable part is like actually looking into it and like facing it front to front, and seeing what did I do to actually mess this up in the first place, and how can I avoid doing that in the future.
For sure, because
you have to be comfortable with doing that.
Because if you make a mistake and everyone else saw that mistake, you don't acknowledge it. Now people are going to view you as incompetent.
Yeah, exactly.
More so for you not acknowledging the mistake and owning up to it versus you making the mistake, and you acknowledging it and you saying, "Hey, this was done incorrectly, and like now this is what we're gonna do."
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because then they think that you don't even know that you made a mistake.
Yeah.
If you don't own up to it, or you try to act like it never happened,
right?
That's not going to make people think that you're more competent. It's like you said, it's the exact opposite.
And now you're like, well, my boss is an idiot because he didn't realize that so and so caused so and so, and now we're here. So like going back to Jocko always talks about how he takes responsibility even for his squad. So if there's people on his squad that make mistakes, he'll put it on himself because he didn't teach them properly something. He didn't let them know some critical information that they should have known, or maybe he did tell them, but maybe he should have told them like 3-4 times. Maybe he should have given it to them in an email, and it would have. So there's just kind of always a way to make it fall back on you, and I think just taking responsibility for that is the best.
I guess that's probably the difference between how a leader should view that. Like what your question is, maybe your responsibility isn't just surrounding yourself, but it's surrounding the people that you are leading. And that's what makes you a good leader.
Right. And the first chapter in Extreme Ownership is literally that.
Extreme ownership.
It's taking extreme ownership. It's taking
and Leaf Babin.
Yes, Jocko Willink and Leaf Babin. It's taking that what happens is that there's a blue on blue. So what that means is that the good guys are fighting the good guys. And that happens because of miscommunication. We don't know where somebody is. We don't know, what the plan is, or somebody didn't communicate something properly. And that's what you do. You take literal full ownership of it. And that says ego's the enemy, and you going back and just, I guess, working harder and doing the better job. And I don't want to even say like working harder, but it's just being more efficient and being more cognizant of your fellow people. And I don't really even look at that as supposed to be work, because that shouldn't be work. Because if you're supporting the boys, then I mean, they're helping you out. So it's just it's more like an organism,
Yeah, you're relying on each other.
Yeah.
More than them relying on only you, or you on only them.
Right. Cool. I'm glad I asked that question because
is there a certain situation you have that you wanted to apply this to?
Shoot.
Jimmy always seems like he's asking for advice.
I honestly am though, because it's and I've done a really shit job of like talking shit behind people's backs, which I abhor about myself, and I learned it from somebody else, and that I've ingrained into my kind of personality, and that's because it's just easier to talk if I have that example like right in my mind, and then I use that in this like certain example. But like I guess what my example would be, not putting anybody on blast, but it's just kind of like, we can all learn through other people. And I'm definitely one to, like I said, like when I first saw you, Jeb, so you started asking questions. I have been known throughout my whole life of asking questions. I ask nonstop questions. And this mainly comes from like a point of myself of not having somebody like teach me or being that person to give me the answers to questions that I didn't even know I had. And so that's why I seek out and I try to learn as much as possible. Even if I completely disagree with somebody else's perspective, I'm going to entertain that idea just to see if I can get a glimpse and just a glimmer of how it works on their side. So I guess that's why I proposed that, is because you coming from a certain code of ethics that I also like, I want to see how you articulate it, because I think words are very powerful, and that certain words have different distinctions in what they say.
Right. Yeah. You kind of have to be precise with your words and like what you're, because one word in a certain phrasing can totally change what you mean. But yeah.
Yeah, like let's eat grandma. Let's eat.
Yeah, classic.
Or that one video where that guy like is running, and then you see it's like he just ran out of a store, and it looks like he's robbing the store, but then another camera cuts, and then he runs and he pushes this person over, and then you think it's a mugging, and then have y'all seen that?
No.
I'll link it in the show notes.
I feel like I have seen that or something like it. It's just like showing like
just different perspectives. Yeah, kind of amplifies your own knowledge of it. But yeah. Anyways, getting back to design. Actually, this is fucking design too.
So I view it as design, but design for life.
Wow.
You're designing certain
Just bringing
systems.
out the notebook.
You're designing systems for your life, and that's kind of how so that's how I'm viewing this room. That's how I view my room. Like whenever I have a certain setup and I have it in a certain way, I'm viewing it like, how is this gonna optimize me turning the TV on, or me being able to turn these lights on more efficiently instead of having to like crawl over this and that to turn this thing on. It's like just making things a little bit more optimized.
That's fun. That's funny you say that, because that's how you do hard things, is that you make the processes easier. You make and it's kind of like what we were talking about, the goals, is that you take those baby steps, but it goes a step further to the process in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my goodness, there's tons of examples, even in this room. Let me think of one. Okay, the bed right there. So I needed more space. I need more space for things like this, for us talking, and for us having an open environment. What I wanted, the purpose of like setting my whole room up like this, was to have it to be able to learn and refocus. Has that worked entirely? At the beginning, it did. When I started working at Tesla, like I was on the grind. Like I knew what had to be done.
Right.
But then some things fell off.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting faulty, and that's what I think making the processes easier. Like, I guess for me, I can't remember things, so I have literally everything posted up. So it's a constant reminder. Even though it's a stressor, stress motivates. Stress can be good. Stress can be bad too. But in this instance, I'm using it for a good thing. And I completely, full-heartedly agree with making processes easier. Running. Get better shoes. Okay, if you're more comfortable running, doing that hard shit, then you're going to run more.
Yeah.
Like Hoka's are great. Can we get sponsored by Hoka's?
Or not even being comfortable, but just having the correct tools, because you can be running with some.
That's a better way to phrase it.
You could run with Converse, and you're gonna be hurting after 3 miles.
Or running with the wrong form too. Like it can be as simple as that. Like I could go running having never been taught properly how to run before, which I probably haven't. That's probably why I don't like running. But like I could go for a run and be like, man, this is too hard and I'm shit at it. I'm never doing this again. Or I could ask somebody with proper form, maybe Jimmy, I know you learned the proper form at some point in your running journey. Be like, hey, would you mind helping me out with this? And then next thing I know, it's a lot more comfortable for me because I've learned the correct actually way to do it. But one thing I wanted to say about the room thing, because me and Jeb were talking about this too while you were doing something about my room and how I reorganized it and stuff. But I think it's important to kind of like change things around after a little while, and I want to get your thoughts on this too, Jeb. Because
the first thing that Jeb said was, I could really just change this room up. I can make it so much better.
He was judging you. He was judging the stew.
No, actually, judge me fully, because like I haven't changed this room since I moved in.
Yeah.
So, Jeb, thoughts? Not on the room, but just like,
Okay.
you know, what we're talking about. I mean, you can't talk about it if you want.
You mentioned something about rearranging your room. So yeah, I love rearranging my room. I hate having the same stale room over a period of time. Like I have to change something up so it feels a little fresh. It feels different, and there's a slight excitement in being in this new environment. and I really enjoy having that from time to time, changing it up. You know, if I could change it up more often, I'd like that. But then I really just wait till I'm like, damn, I'm tired of this room. I've been tired of it for like the last few weeks. Like I need to change it. So that's whenever I typically change stuff up.
Yeah. There's this thing that I do whenever, like, I don't really like to set reminders or not timers, I guess, like alarms and stuff all that much, like to remember to do something specific. And so I'll just like put something like a pencil or like an extra pillow like in a weird part of my room that's like out of place. And like the next day I'll wake up and I'll see that there. I'll be like, why is that there? Oh yeah, I have to call grandma or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
What?
so like yeah, because like
It's an object thing. I've
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
heard about
and it's
that.
like, well, that's out of place. Why is that out of place? Oh yeah, I put that there because I had to remember this thing. And I don't know, no one really taught me that, but it's just something I started doing when I was younger.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
And I just thought it was like a silly thing, but that can become something like if I leave it there for too long, it can just become part of my environment
Exactly,
again.
yeah.
And so I forget like that it's something that was even out of place. So I think that's kind of why it's good to, I don't know if it's for your brain or anything. I'm not like a neuroscientist or anything, but just to rearrange your environment and, you know,
That's
keep
a
things
really
fresh.
good point. Yeah.
Well, you are rewiring your brain every time you do that because there's a new environment you have to adjust to, and there's new things you have to learn about your environment. In a very subtle way, you are.
That's true. It's like if you have all the lights off in the house that you grew up in, or like if you think about the house that you grew up in right now, if you were there for a long time, you could probably walk through the entire thing, like just in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it right now. I'm staring at you.
I
but
know.
I'm doing it
I
right
could tell. I was like,
Yeah.
you didn't hear what I said, but you did.
I'm
and you're thinking about it. You're walking through your house right now.
Yeah. That's wild.
That's weird how we do that.
So how can we? So I guess with setting goals and with setting these, making things easier and having our environments kind of, because we're in the belief that we create our own destiny. I feel like I can say that pretty confidently in this with this group of people. We can create what we want. So if we want something, what can we do to our environment to make it more conducive? If, say, we're living, in our apartment, we have a job, what environments are conducive to helping us strive for better goals, better learning, better opportunity for us?
I feel like you've already answered this for yourself. You have your Post-it notes with the lofty goal at the very top, and you've already worked your way backwards, it seems like. I think you already know.
Oh, we've really been breaking it down this whole time.
Yeah.
Little goals, one bite at a time.
True. Maybe I just like saying the same thing over and over again. It's like that one like TikTok or whatever where it's like, oh, that's very interesting, and when you talk on podcasts and you're just prolonging the conversation.
Yeah, you're just saying
It's like
you're
you're
saying
not
a bunch
even-
of words
Exactly.
that mean nothing at all.
You're not adding any value to the conversation.
Oh yeah, so I wanted to ask you something that I've just been really thinking about a long time, and I'm so glad you're here to talk about this. I've just thought about this for weeks and weeks and weeks on end.
That's the wild thing about you. You can ad lib like crazy. That just amazes me.
It's filler words, man.
Okay. Oh shoot. Okay. We're gonna talk about sleep.
Oh
Okay.
shit!
So I'm really
Good thing you wrote it down.
I know.
Wow,
There we go.
we're learning already.
It's a full circle. So when we're talking about making our environments conducive to what we want, time is an important structure, and it's so freaking wild that we're talking about this at work, or even with running the position.
Yeah.
I'm going to run differently. I don't think I run well. Our boss Justin gave us like a little velociraptor kind of technique that I'm going to try. I'm gonna
Velociraptor technique?
Yeah. So he gets a camelback, right?
Like T-Rex type.
Okay.
Like this. Okay.
No.
You got your little claws.
I wish
because
you could see Jimmy right
You
now.
hook it up. You hook your claws into the straps of the pack, and then you start going. Light impact. And I've seen people run like that, and I'm like, that looks really fucking weird. But that makes sense
Wait,
too.
you're saying you hook your thumbs up in the straps of
The straps of the
camelback?
backpack. Yeah. And so if you're running, because actually that's great form, is to have your elbows tight,
High and tight.
so you're not really moving as much, but you're also having the correct form. Now
I
with
guess that
sprints,
conserves energy. And
this
stuff
is
too,
different.
huh?
You want the momentum in sprints. You really want the momentum, and that's why you hammer and hang, as my past
Hammer
coach
and
would used to say.
Hammer and hand.
Hammer, because you're hammering it and you're hanging it.
Sounds a little sexual.
It does. Sounds like never mind.
Yeah. So running's kind of hot. Let's be honest.
It's kind of hot.
So, anyways, yeah. What was I saying? Justin,
Sleep.
Time. Okay, we're on to time. Jeb, how do you construct your days? I'm really interested to hear give us a glimpse in the daily life of Mr. Jeb.
Currently, right now, it's wake up around 5:25ish, head to the gym, 30-minute drive there, get there around 6:05, work out by 6, start working out by 6:10, leave the gym, get to work by 8:20, and then start work, leave work at 5:10, and then get home, go for a run, then get back, and I'm trying to focus. Right now I'm trying to figure out this time period after work. So in the past, however many months, it's been just like hanging out with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to restructure these days and having set days to hang out with her and set days to go do some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like yesterday, I took the day I left work and I went to go get gas after work. And after that, I just got on my phone and talked to some of my friends. So I talked to some of my friends over the phone. And then I went to Walmart. I'm still talking to my friends over the phone. And I just had a day to communicate with some close people. So I had that. And the day before that, I had a date night with my girlfriend. So we went to a nice restaurant and enjoyed our time.
Mm-hmm.
We dressed up nicely. We went out.
Nice.
And then the day before that, I took some time to myself. I was talking to some friends, and I was just had some me time, and so right now I'm currently trying to structure this later half of my day
Mm-hmm.
to be a lot more productive, because I feel like I haven't been as productive as I was before, and it's been just hanging out with my girlfriend. But I want to be able to be happy
Mm-hmm.
that I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, but I'm also getting these other tasks that I want to do
Right.
done. So so I'm working on that one currently right now.
I mean, I think that's a wonderful process. Is that it's half of kind of exploring how you work and what's the best thing for you is experimenting and trying different things out.
That's right.
And that's something that I have yet to do, because with also experimenting, you have to take a little bit of risk. Is this going to chemically combust? I don't know. I think a thing is in science. But is this thing gonna explode on me?
Right.
But it's that's great how you think about that. And with also having a full-time job, and especially in the middle of the day, while also, especially me, grateful to have a job, it's difficult to kind of block out your times, because
Right.
you do have to work. Not everybody wakes up at 5 o'clock or 5:30.
Yeah.
And so it's taking that extra time. And as you said that, I'm just kind of reworking my time schedule. Like talking with friends is like super important. That gasses me up. This is an excuse to talk to friends.
Well, I'm the same way. Like I get excited about good conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I get, maybe I'm not like amp like Jimmy is on the mic, but I get internally, I'm really excited and I'm really happy. It just really fulfills me of having good conversations with people like I'm having now. So
Let's go.
So
yeah, dude.
So yeah, talking to friends is it's crucial for me. I got asked the other day, like, why am I so deep? Why do I want to get so deep? Like, are my parents this deep, or is my family deep like that? And I was like, no, like, it's just my friends. Like my friends have always, for whatever reason, I've just always gravitated towards friends that end up being on the deeper side, and I just have conversations at length with them about whatever, and they're passionate about whatever subject they're passionate about, and I'm pretty diverse in like what I am willing to hear and what I like to hear. So it just ends up working well.
That's really good. Like, I mean, like
Matthew's nodding at him.
Yeah.
That's really good.
No, it's because like I feel like a lot of people are just so closed off to like, I want someone that is exactly like me, and I want someone that I don't know, a friend that likes the exact same video game, and that's all we talk about. But I think it's great to have that diversity of things
Thought,
that people are
ideas,
impassioned
yeah.
about, and talking with them at length about those things is really it's fun. Like it is fun. It's cool to learn about what people are interested in and why. Like my fiance's brother, he went to school for geology, and I think that's fucking cool because rocks are dope. And what like
Rock on, dude.
I rock on, dude. Yeah, I think rocks are dope, but like what makes somebody want to actually go to school and study that for 4 years? It's like I want you to tell me about rocks.
Right.
Like I think it's fun to have those conversations with people.
That's the wild thing too about design. We were talking about this with Jake too. Jake Kassan. He's an art director from Something New. I don't know why I did those hand motions, but anyways, it's I think designers have a different outlook, and creative people have a different outlook when talking to other people. Is that they look at something and though it's weird, though it's different, it's something that they're not familiar with. They kind of inch closer to it, and they kind of want to explore. Because when you're talking about rocks, like I took a rock class and I was completely uninterested in it. I can't believe I passed, honestly.
Hey, good for you.
But when I go into a 3D program and when I look at like the polygons on it, I'm like, okay, so this is, oh shoot, I'm gonna forget a rock name. Granite, and this is like limestone. Limestone has much more finer detail. Granite has these bulges, and I need to know that. I need to know that so I can communicate through a design more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess relating to your friends, and because I do the same thing, I get like super deep and philosophical with my buddies.
I always try to go there.
Yes, dude, it's so much fun. 'Cause especially when it's like they're kind of on the same path, but they've gotten to it kind of differently. Maybe they've experimented with like a Christianic base with Buddhism and hints of kind of Aristotle splashed in there of existentialism. I don't know. And it's like just these weird combinations that you mix up, but it totally doesn't surprise me that you go deep because you're a designer, and that's what I guess designers do. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Some thoughts on what Matthew had said earlier about finding people that are just like you. Whenever I first went to college, I just talked about this with a friend recently. I was searching for friends that were similar to me or similar to my high school friends, but then I just ended up being with this group of friends that I met through the one person I knew at that school, and they were nothing like me. And they were all on the nerdier side, and they were all in the honors college. And
Shout out honors
college from Commerce, Texas. And I love all these guys. Like they just ended up being some of my best friends, and I'm hopefully lifelong friends. And they are so diverse. It's so strange because different ethnicities, just different backgrounds, completely different backgrounds, but like everyone got along so well together, and like everyone is so cool with each other. So that going to that school really diversified me as a person, and not being stuck in my own small bubble, which I think also moving from LA to Texas also removed me from my own small bubble. So there was two small bubbles that burst, or I guess big bubbles, because personality is huge, and
Right.
it just helped me expand as a person.
That was one of the things I really appreciated about the program that me and Jimmy were in. Was like we were in the honors program at TCC, and we had the same classes with the same group of people for the whole 2 years that we were there. And it was great because it kind of like forced you to stay with this group of people that maybe you wouldn't have talked to or known otherwise.
Yeah.
But and it encourages that diversity, because naturally I think we tend to gravitate towards people who look similar to us, act similar to us, are similar in age and stuff like that. But when we're kind of forced around people, this happens in job environments too. You end up being friends with like the middle-aged guy. He's like a great dude or whatever. But this happened at school, and I thought it was great for those diverse conversations and talking about things that, not normally talking about.
Right.
They're fun stuff.
And it's kind of interesting just sharing very different experiences, but being able to correlate it or relate it to yourself in some sort of way, or have some sort of just a similar experience. That's not exactly the same, but you find some sort of correlation with it. I think that was really cool.
Well, that's what makes us humans, right? Is our ability to relate to each other. Like that's what
Social
separates
beings.
us. Yeah, from to be able to create and to relate to each other. Empathy. Those are the two things that separate us from the damn apes.
Yeah.
So.
And shout out to Jimmy for the empathy wine from Gary Vee.
Shout out empathy wine.
Empathy wine.
Shout out to you to get me a.
Yeah. So this job thing that we keep going back to here and there. So they wanted to hire a junior designer at my job / like social media person. Yeah. Just someone junior, right? And
Junior Jim.
Junior
Jimbo Junior Jim. Junior Jumbo
Jumbo
Jim.
Junior. Jumbo Jim.
We're getting too far.
Go. Keep going.
So then I was like, I have a guy. So that guy was someone else.
Damn.
Was not Jimmy.
Was not the first pick.
But then I thought about it some more. I was like, oh, Jimmy. So I think I probably saw one of your posts, and I was like, oh, I should refer Jimmy. So I referred Jimmy, and I was telling Justin, our boss, the head honcho, about Jimmy and letting him know, like, yeah, this young kid, he does design. He likes to get after it.
Get after it.
And yeah, so they end up hitting you up, or I asked you to send your resume to a certain email. You send it, and then Justin's like, "Hey Jeb, your friend's very eccentric."
Oh wow.
Eccentric, yes.
And yeah, as you heard earlier, the subject line was, "If I get this job, I owe Jeb a beer."
Yeah.
And
shaking my damn head.
That was followed by a very lengthy story. Not email. It was a story, like a 20-page story.
Oh my God.
And and Jimmy somehow convinced Justin to bring him in for an interview.
Very surprised at that, but
Wow.
we've learned to shorten our emails incredibly. I did write a big story, didn't I?
Wow, dude.
So I only glanced at it because I wasn't, I didn't want to read the whole thing. It was kind of long, but I glanced at it. I was like, damn, Jimmy, like I personally appreciate that email. I just don't know how much of an appreciation other people have for emails that lengthy. And yeah, so he said they're going to bring you in, and they brought you in, and Justin was like, yeah, we just interviewed your friend. And then I think shortly after, you text me that you just left, or that you just left the interview, and I don't hear anything about it. And then a few days later, they tell me how they're going to bring you on in a few weeks. I was like, and it just took like 7 weeks after that. It took a while.
Yeah.
So you end up coming on, and you end up coming on, and you've been a great addition to the team.
Oh, dude, thank you.
You've been
I love being a part of the team.
Yeah, you've been good. You've been very open-minded. If you don't know, Jimmy's working with hearing aids. Not the most glamorous item in the world, but it's his first job, and
big boy job, as
Big
we
boy job.
like to refer to it.
Mhm.
yeah, and he's I think he's crushing it. So it went from him assisting to now he's building out a website. He's managing 2 brands or 3 brands, and doing the social media and doing some packaging inserts, and yeah, just doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
We're basically doing this to ask for a pay raise for Jimmy.
Well,
That's why Jimmy wanted to have you here.
I already told Jimmy how to handle that one off
Oh,
air.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
I was gonna revisit that actually. Anyways, actually, to your point with the emails, so I actually read, and Jeff Burns actually dropped this book. This book name. It's called the Freelance Manifesto by Joey Corman, and so that's actually verbatim of what he said. First thing you say howdy in the title, or not in the subject line, but as your intro, howdy so and so. But your subject line has to be fucking key. So and that's what I try to do. I try to make it so
Eccentric.
Exactly. I try to make it so you have to open it.
Right.
I want to will you to open that email. And I'll do whatever I do. And people, like, you don't get spam that says, I don't know what kind of subject lines have I made. Like, for Thomas, I said party animal. For Jebs, I said I owe you a beer. I also got another job for saying I owe my friend Colton. I owe Colton a beer if I get this job. I did the crappiest work there. Like, it was so bad. I was so late on all my deadlines. It was miserable. Probably shouldn't say that here. I'm a great freelancer.
Yes.
You should give me money.
Very hireable.
But and actually I wrote down, there's a packet like right behind you, Jeb, that is filled with notes of this freelance manifesto, and basically gives you like a guide of like, this world is not sunshine and puppies, and nor should you expect it to be. You have to be on your A game and use everything to your advantage. You're not exposing people, or what's the word? You're not exploiting people.
There you go.
For their weaknesses or anything like that, but you are amplifying yourself. And it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that ego, what we were talking about. I don't know if you're following this hole I'm going in, but
keep digging.
There's a balance. There's a dichotomy.
Nice.
I love your commentary.
That you just have to vibe out and experiment with. It seems like I'm like droning on and repeating myself, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either. I lost you minutes ago.
What I'm trying to say is that reading is good. You should read good books. If you want to read good books, follow us on Goodreads.com.
You have a Goodreads?
I do. Do you have a Goodreads?
I have one, but I haven't updated it in a while.
I don't care. I want it.
Okay.
I don't have a Goodreads.
What are you currently reading?
So I'm currently reading the autobiography of Steve Jobs. That's my second favorite, or that's my second autobiography I've ever read.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's about it. I only read one book at a time.
That's probably the best way to do it.
Oh.
I tried to, and that was very hard. Very difficult.
I feel like with me,
Yeah, Matthew, what are you reading right now, man?
nothing.
Some Playboy?
When I do choose to some what?
Some Playboy?
No. Yeah.
He gets all shy.
Coloring books and the like. When I do choose to read, I like really get into books, but I'm more of into like, a fiction guy. I don't really like this whole I don't know. Applying things to life.
Self-help.
Yeah, self-help type of extreme ownership things.
Oh,
I don't know.
You know it all.
I do know it all. Yeah, I like my life is completely perfect and I don't need to change it all or improve. So I like to read things that are untrue.
Broaden your horizon.
Just warp your sense of reality, right?
Yeah, Aragon. I'd rather read about dragons than, waking up at 4 a.m. That's just me.
I love that.
No good reads for me. I love reading. I think reading's great.
Yeah.
I think
you have a good selection
of what?
Of books that you read, especially the fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the cream of the crop? Cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop for me is I really liked the Maze Runner series.
You have recommended that to me.
Yeah, I
multiple
really
times.
liked the Maze Runner series. I already mentioned Aragon. I really love those books too. What else? Yeah, I mean,
There's no more after that.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of like series.
Oh, okay. Something
Yeah.
that somebody can dive deep into.
Yeah, I really used to F with the Magic Treehouse.
Yo,
books.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
You remember those, Jeb? Did you ever read those?
Is it like Magic School Bus?
I mean, basically, yeah. They get in this treehouse, like these kids have a treehouse, and it transports them to
Dude,
these
that's
crazy historical adventures. Really awesome books.
That's a throwback.
Yeah,
That's like a mad throwback.
yeah.
My
Those
brother
were
was into those.
a ton of fun. I loved Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I thought those were just the funniest little fuckers, dude.
Were you a Captain Underpants fan?
I read Captain Underpants, but I
Okay.
wouldn't have considered myself a fan. Do you remember the
I wasn't allowed to read those.
something about the Black Lagoon?
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm like
Yo.
unlocking the coffers right
That's
now.
that's like chained in the back
Something It was
my
something
mind.
something in the Black Lagoon, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I vaguely remember that title.
Yeah, I mean, there were all sorts of books that I used to read. Man, the good old days.
So you read those by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And I did enjoy reading like the school not the recommended books, but like the ones that they force you to read,
Right.
like To Kill a Mockingbird. I ended up really liking
that's a fucking
Animal
great book.
Farm. I ended up really liking. Which one did I not like? The one about like the kids having orgies was a little weird.
What was that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little weird for school. Yeah, they yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Nice.
But I enjoyed those books. I mean, things are classic for a reason, you know.
I think it's really good to read those kinds of especially fiction. I like to dabble with like really old classics just because my school never taught those, like the Odyssey. Those kinds of, I guess, the Greek mythics, dipping my toes in there.
Yeah.
That's really good to like get up on history. And it's weird, and especially Shakespeare, you can see
I've read
like
a lot of Shakespeare plays.
their archetypes and like bleed throughout all the other stories.
Well, that's the thing about Shakespeare is that like he's influenced so many of these like structures of movies and books that we read now. Did he talk about that in this book?
He talked about it in his podcast a lot.
In the pod?
Yeah, Shakespeare. He's a big Shakespeare fan.
Really?
Jocko, yeah.
Yeah. I like Shakespeare. I liked a lot of his plays. I think they're fun. I was Romeo.
No, you weren't.
No
way.
Yeah, in English class we read the book like aloud in front of the class, and so each people got to pick a character that they wanted to play, and I was like, I'll be Romeo.
You're such a Romeo.
It was because here I'll tell you why. And it's because I'm a dick, really. I was like, I know for a fact that I'm a lot better at reading things aloud than every single other person in this class. And I didn't want to like have someone that
big dick energy.
We all know that person that's like really poor at reading aloud.
They're like,
and that's okay.
Episode.
Yeah, like
the stutterer.
Yeah, it's such a pet peeve of mine when there's like a long word, right? And somebody sees like the first two letters and then they just guess the rest of the word, and it's like completely off. You know what? You don't know what I'm talking about? You didn't know those people?
Those are rough.
Oh, dude, like if extravagant, like if they didn't know that word, they see actually like extraterrestrial, like just completely the wrong word. I'm like, dude, sound it out, bro.
What grade was this?
Dude, like up there too. Like I was like up into high school.
Dude, I know
CCC
like,
days.
Is right.
We had a I'm gonna put him on blast, and I think he listens to this podcast. Aaron Jones, okay, high school senior year. No, maybe not senior, sophomore year. He would willingly raise his hand enthusiastically and then do that on purpose. He would stress out the teachers so much. Ooh. It was so funny. Like we were all like just cracking up, just laughing about Aaron. And Aaron, I apologize if that wasn't on purpose, but you made it sound like it was on purpose.
Aaron's like, what? I never did that. Oh, that idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's why I was Romeo, and those are the books that I liked.
Nice. Do you read those on a? You say you don't truly read right now, but you used to.
Yeah.
Pretty in a habitual manner.
Yeah, like I mean, I would read almost every day. It was to that point, yeah. Like I was super into reading.
Hours a day.
Yeah, sometimes. If I was like really into a book, especially with Aragon, that book, like I would seriously read like 4 or 5 hours at a time. Seriously, straight.
That's crazy.
I know it, and I would stay up late reading, and I just loved it because like to me it's like a movie, but way more detailed and just way more. I mean, I can't watch almost with the new Snyder cut. I can't watch a 4-hour movie, but yeah, I mean, you get into it and like you just become friends with these characters and you become a part of this world, and it was so cool. And I always thought Aragon was cool because it was written by like this dude when he was like 17. He wrote those books and and became a movie, which was a flop, but it was just really successful series and it was really inspiring.
And a video game.
Seriously?
Yes, my brother went really hard on that game.
Your brother went hard on the Aragon video game?
It was actually pretty good. It was like Pirates of the Caribbean on like PS2. Yeah, the guy who wrote it, he was 17. He was amazing. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. I used to want to be an author.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
In fact, I wrote like a 50-page short story when I was in high school.
Why am I just now hearing
Yes.
this?
I don't
What-
know.
what-
It's probably locked away somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's terrible.
I've given
I
you
know it's
so much
terrible.
shit over the past few months with reading. I feel
know.
like a dick now. I didn't know you had such a passion for it.
I do. I don't know why I don't do it anymore.
It's interesting.
I really don't.
Hmm.
Maybe I just need to find another good book to get me back into it, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, addict needs the fix.
Exactly.
I've really been thinking about it. Like even just the last few days, I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking go to the library and browse.
Denton has that nice like record shop or whatever that has like
A bunch of books in there.
books and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, books and shit. Yeah, like I could just literally walk over there and do it at any point. I don't know why I don't.
Did you ever like the Harry Potter series?
I actually really didn't get into those.
Okay.
Or Percy Jackson. Like or Hunger Games. I don't know what it was. Like all the really popular book series that all the kids were into.
Mm.
I never got into them. I started reading every single one of them, but
Oh, so
Didn't
you're into
catch it.
sports, right?
yeah, I like yeah.
Basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would suggest the Kobe Bryant series where he has these short stories. They're all based around basketball. And it follows, at least the first book does, it follows the starting five on the team and kind of gives their own individual story. And I think you would like that.
So is this like a autobiography or is this fiction?
No,
This is a made-up
it's all
story?
fiction. It's all made up by
wow.
him. It's essentially,
So he wrote it.
he helped write it. Yeah.
That's dope.
So from what I know, as you know, thus far, is he was trying to teach his kids certain lessons, and his kids were like, "Yeah, Dad, whatever." So he started making his own little stories to tell the kids these stories and intertwine those lessons into the stories.
Wow.
So then he took that a step further and started making these books for kids,
Mm.
and there's a bunch of lessons in just within the first chapter or just within the first story of the first kid that's told, which is as far as I'm into the book right now.
Whoa. Okay, interesting. I've never heard of this for some
Yeah.
reason. That's crazy.
And it's like a Harry Potter-esque type of book.
Really?
So I haven't read Harry
About
Potter
basketball?
myself. I've seen the movie. I've seen 2 movies, and
That's all
yeah,
you need.
it's correlated, or it's combined with basketball.
Yeah. That's
And
dope.
And Phil Jackson was
Mm.
the head coach for the Lakers
Yeah.
and a coach for Kobe Bryant, and he had a Zen-like mystique to him, and he would teach him. He taught the Lakers how to meditate. He taught him
Wow.
like the Zen approach to basketball. And the coach in the book, he is a wizard, a wizard-esque, and
Wizard ass.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's a magical book. Yeah,
What's it called?
Google's your friend.
Damn.
I don't recall the name
We'll
of
have
the
a
book
link in
right
the
now.
show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that. I'm gonna look into that. But when you said that, that reminded me there were these sports books that I used to read. It was about baseball, and I forgot what this author's name was, but he wrote like fucking 50 books in this like crazy baseball series, like fiction books about this like high school kid playing baseball and trying to become a pro. And these were like amazing books, and
Mhm.
like I'm just now remembering these. I used to read so many things.
Can you believe that? Like somebody wrote 50 books.
It blows my mind.
Like in the Magic Treehouse too. Like that was like a big selection too.
Yeah,
And, like, the
I would.
Magic School
There's
Bus,
probably
like-
close to 100 of those, if not more.
That just blows my mind of
Mhm.
like the amount of novels and the storyline continuing.
It's ideas, man. So cool.
Sometimes people are possessed by them.
Absolutely. Yeah, for better or for worse. That's what I think about Ari Aster.
Who?
He's fucked up. The guy who made Hereditary and Midsummer. Did you
I've-
see either of those?
What do you do?
He's not like fucked up like in a bad, like he didn't do anything bad. Like his movies are just
Mhm.
insane, and they're really can't even describe it any other way. They're just fucked up. Like they're just like, man, it gets you thinking of like, how does someone think of this and like allow themselves to go in such a place that would like Stephen King too. Like he has so many books, inspired so many movies about these just crazy off the wall horrifying things,
like that person having a tormented mind and kind of expressing those ideas on paper.
It scares me to think like someone had a nightmare and woke up and started writing, and then it became something like that. Like it really, that just terrifies me. That's really what scares me more than the movie, is the person that they came up with
behind it. Yeah, there's a book by Stephen King called On Writing, and it expired before I could finish it, but I think I was like a quarter of the way into it, and like even his early childhood, just like a fucking wild life, very, I wouldn't say dysfunctional, but very fragmented in growing up. Definitely had like a huge, and he talked about like the impact it makes on his writing now. But it's just like these little stories of his memories. Yeah. It's like a memoir.
I find it fascinating, man.
Yeah, Stephen King especially.
Yeah, some people just don't let their brain go there. And I think it's really great when, especially creative people, let that happen in like probably the healthiest way possible. Is just like writing about it and getting that shit out of there.
Yeah, that can also be a bad thing too.
To get it out.
Jimmy likes to bottle it all up.
To invest, I'd say to invest to invest in it. Like as a person who does do that, bottles things up and can't wait for it. But no, I was listening to a Jocko podcast, and he was talking about like this horrendous event, probably like the worst recorded event like in history. And he at the end of the podcast, he talked about the author and what she went through, and when she was writing this book and going on world tours and things like that, it really demented her mind, because she had people come up to her talking about, I'm so glad you wrote this because I've had such and such event happened to me, and they'd describe the horrendous events that would happen to them and all the trauma and all that kind of misery and just darkness overwhelmed her. And it's like, it's sad, but there's like I said, like this is a dichotomy. You have to have the good and the bad. You can't just be influenced by the bad. But if also you are so negligent to actually go into the darkness, then that is also the curse. You will be cursed with being oblivious to the terrors of of what's around you, you know? So, and finding your own balance is important. That's why I really like your experimentation, Jeb, and how you live life. Because like we were saying before, it just kind of bleeds into each and everything.
And kind of going off what you just talked about, like incorporating the bad part of yourself, because there's a bad part to yourself as much as we all think like we're just perfect, or like we're good, or we're pure. Yeah,
that's a good word.
Like there's a darkness to you that you may not let other people see, and you kind of have to know that's part of you and incorporate it into yourself in some sort of way. And yeah, it's dark sometimes, but you got to work through it sometimes. But yeah,
and it's like a filtration process. I feel like with finding people to be open with, it's like vulnerability. Right. Like you ever heard of Brene Brown? Yeah. So it's like her TED Talk on vulnerability, and it seems like that's the only reason why she's famous is because of her TED Talk. But like she's developed so much other material about the willingness to be open and talking and communication, and especially with the podcast that we did months and months back, our third podcast with Matthew Zone. We were talking about a book with it's called Body Keeps a Score.
Yes,
Body Keeps a Score. So it was recommended to me
by Brene.
No, it wasn't by Brene. It was by this. I'll link it together in a second. But it was recommended by Matthew's fiance, and so I went into it and I dived deep, and it basically went on to say that when you have trauma and we have darkness surrounded you, best way to communicate it is to open up to somebody. Yeah, and even if you don't know what it is, just start talking. Just start somewhere.
Totally agree.
Yeah, which links it to Brene Brown.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, and Brene Brown has I've listened to 2 of her books. They're great. Her podcast is great. She's had Tim Ferriss on her podcast. That was a great episode too.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool lady to check out for sure. Brene Brown.
Did we watch her TED Talk in school?
Probably.
In Miss Jackson's class.
Oh shit!
I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, because when she put her up, I was like, I got giddy. I stood up. We had giddy, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I get excited very easily. Like if I just got like getting fired up.
That's a good way to
Your
live.
teacher showed you this video?
Her vulnerability TED Talk.
It's sophomore year of community. Yeah.
What class was this?
Humanities.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What was it called though? Intro to
Humanities.
Oh, just Intro to Humanities.
Um,
Art generally.
She has a very great perspective, and going back to with like you wouldn't normally hang around people. Probably wouldn't have hanging around her. I've contrasting views with her, but it was very interesting to hear her side, and kind of made me open up my mind a bit about like thinking about other perspectives and what other people go through.
Yeah.
Especially with humanities too. So
That was a neat one.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever take a humanities class?
I believe I did, but I don't remember it. It was at TCC for sure. Unless if that was an elective class, I probably didn't do humanities.
It was required for us.
Was it?
For our program.
It might have been, yeah.
Then I did it. Then I just don't remember who it was.
Yeah. And it could have been called something else. Like
some of these classes, some of them are kind of boring.
Yeah. Some of them seem really pointless. Like our history that we took. It's like none of the lectures, the whole point of the class was that we had one like final project, and all of our like formative grades were like just checkups on this project. So there were no tests or quizzes that were for grades.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Cervantes, you know what I'm talking about?
I was trying to figure out was that the first one? Because I slept through the first our first
most people did. Well, because the lectures, they didn't mean anything because, well, if all you were there to care about was the grade, which a lot of people in school are, but
especially honors,
especially honors kids. Yeah, I mean there was no point in even going to class. But I'm personally really interested in history, and I thought that it was fun to learn about. But like it was just like why do I even need to listen to this for this class? I just don't get it. It didn't make sense for a class structure to me.
Was the problem the teacher not being as enthusiastic and passionate about the subject they're teaching?
Totally passionate. He's written a book.
Yeah, I got the book. Right there.
Brian Cervantes.
That's the one that I started to try to read, like the second book. That's why I said I only read one book at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It was nothing about him at all. It was just the way that he chose to structure the class of having this final project. And then I ended up I was really enthusiastic about listening to the lectures, and I really enjoyed it. And then I flubbed the project at the end of the year and got a 75 in the class.
Damn.
And I was like, this kind of sucks because, I mean, it was my own fault because I didn't do the project until the last 2 weeks, and we had all year to do it. That's just how I am. But I prefer to take tests and quizzes. That's what I'm good at because I'm good at listening and learning. But I don't even know why I was talking about that.
Well, we went to just classes in general.
Yeah.
But it makes a huge impact what a teacher does. I think
definitely.
Yeah, and especially I really feel, and it sounds like I'm not trying to be on the high horse. I feel for these kids who are still in college or something like that. But it honestly sucks, kids. Especially right now in COVID, you're paying exorbitant amounts of money. And then you're getting a Zoom lecture.
No way, Jose.
It's hard enough to, and no hate on Zoom right now, but it's hard to talk to people without clear, I guess, timing because we have lag. And things like that. So it's hard to even engage with somebody through a screen. More or less, try to learn something that you're trying to get a degree and try to make a profession for.
Well, that's the thing about the comfort of your environment. Most people are doing school in their bed now, and it's they're not going to be in the school mode. It helps to go to a brick and mortar building and then sit in that shitty desk with a backpack, on your feet, and you're taking physical notes on a notepad or something, or in a composition notebook.
What we were talking about earlier, our environment needs to be conducive with our goals.
So you're telling me this cot right here is not going to give Jimmy the A that he wants in class?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Damn.
Quizlet gives these guys the A. That's the thing. Our last semester was spent in COVID as well, and it was just it's way too easy to just be academically dishonest in this situation, and I just don't feel like I'm learning anything. Even though I really enjoy geology, I'm not there with the rocks anymore. So it's this isn't as fun. You go there for the labs because that's just hands-on and more intriguing and engaging, like you were saying. You can't you can't touch rocks and lick the rocks in through the Zoom.
Yeah.
We always made jokes about him being a rock licker.
Dude,
I was like, does this have NaCl in it? Salt? Table salt? Let's see.
You have to
salty.
And with especially like with a job like that, you have to be like entertaining. You have to be a performer, I think. For just to be a good communicator and a teacher. That's sometimes why I'm a little bit too over the top, is because I learned that from my previous teachers, that if you show interest, enthusiasm, just like what's that? I guess toxicity, or the opposite of enthusiasm, just I don't know. Just I guess a negative mood kind of infects everybody,
right,
but so does an enthusiastic mood.
For sure.
That's what I try to be, and that's what I've grown up looking at, and so that's why I gravitate to the intense.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Because it brings up the energy whenever you just randomly like, so randomly just give your deep voice and try to incorporate some strength from like a very gut, like deep from your gut.
That's. I'm so self-conscious when I talk now, but you're so right. Like that was never brought up to me. Like I never knew that I had like a deep voice or something. When I was talking to people, because when I talk, I kind of learned it from Jocko. And if you look at our earlier podcast, when I'm talking, I talk like this because that motivated me when I was listening to the podcast. Like I fucking work out listening to Jocko. Like I'd be getting that sick fucking pump, you know? Okay. So, yeah. Also, yeah. That's interesting that you picked up on the voice. Nobody has ever said that to me.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm sure people have noticed it. They just, it's Jimmy. They don't think about it, or they don't say anything about it. But
that's just Jimmy.
But it's also like a dichotomy. I felt like a struggle with having kind of a deep voice, because it can be commanding. But also, if I wanted to translate it to something more like chill, I guess, I would have to switch my voice into something like this, and now I just kind of sound like a douche.
Like Ryan Seacrest?
Totally.
Like who?
Ryan Seacrest?
I don't.
Total Seacrest vibe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
I have to look him up, but
yeah, he's this radio personality.
Yeah, he's just a personality. He's a good-looking face. I don't know if he has any talents. I have no idea.
But his voice it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Voice is fine.
Yeah.
I think of like Kevin Harlan. Do you know Kevin Harlan, the basketball announcer?
I don't know him by name.
Yeah, you would know if he's the voice of the NBA basically, and he's like, he does this. I don't know. It's like a golden voice. It's like, you know how news anchors talk. Like there's a certain way of speaking that we expect these types of people to speak like, and yeah, he's got one of those voices that's just like, this is so over the top, but I don't want it any other way. It's like voice actors, right? So like voice actors aren't supposed to talk within characters the way that we're talking to each other, because the way that we talk is kind of boring. But we're trying to get across information more than like emotion a lot of times. But voice actors like have to like really go over the top with their voice and doing all these crazy things.
As Matthew's talking like that, his voice or his body is also moving with him.
Because that's how you portray emotion and energy.
Exactly.
All right, now try doing it, just being super still, leaned all the way back, and try to convey the same energy through your voice.
My name's Kevin Harlan. You're watching NBA.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It
really requires some movement and some.
See, the first one was like a live game. The second one was like a recording for a NBA game
2K.
system. Yeah,
exactly, dude. Exactly. You have to. It's a very physical performance, like motion capture. I watch all sorts of videos on like motion capture and voice acting. I find voice acting to be like really intriguing for some reason. I love watching famous actors like in the studio doing the voice acting.
Oh yeah.
I think it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, like Wolverine. I don't know if you've seen Hugh Jackman do that Wolverine scene, but while he was running, they had to record his voice, and he full busted out, like he was like,
yeah,
and he he was doing the motions, and he had the face of just like pure anger and hatred, and he was like, and breathing through his teeth and just getting just the energy pumped up. But you're exactly right, because in video games too, you can totally tell when there's a disconnect between the body and the face, because they record just the face sometimes instead of the face and the body.
Oh yeah.
And I think Naughty Dog was one of the one of the first studios to actually incorporate body motion with
Uncharted 1.
The talking of the face thing.
Yeah, dude.
Yes. It's completely in sync with that.
Super important. I love it.
I'm fired up.
I'm fired up too. I want to be a voice actor.
Dude, I want to go fucking running, dude.
Who's sweating right now?
I'm sweating. I've also had like half a can of Nos, so
dear
I'm a
God.
bit jittery. I really like I've been talking shit to Jeb like for the past like 2 months. You've been wanting me to get on some 3D design, and I've been hitting this block for the past like 3 months of just trying to create something again in 3D, because I have it, it's like that artist initial block where you have that image in your head and you can't fabricate it. I have that now, and every time I get like this late at night, I'm like, okay, so I have 2 choices. I can either stay up all night and then drive to work at like 4 a.m., 4:25, because I got to be there at like 5:25, or I can go to sleep right now and not get the work done. And it's weird, but like you have to make those sacrifices. I don't know how I'm even getting on this topic, but you got to make sacrifices to get the work done, to accomplish something. When there's give, there's take, and you have to prioritize and execute.
I think you've overextended yourself if those are your only 2 options. And those are your only 2 options.
I can't figure
for
out
whatever
option,
reason. You're like, oh my God, it's past 9. It looks like I'm staying up all night.
Like, but
like, what?
If I go to bed at 11, then I'm not gonna wake up on time for work, and work is a priority because I gotta make some fucking money,
You gotta perform.
Yeah, I gotta perform. So it's like I can do this for so long, but it's that same thing. If I don't invest back into myself, if I don't take a relaxing period, if I don't read a book, like reading really does it for me. Drinking coffee, playing lo-fi, as lame as that sounds, like that does it for me. Taking a walk outside, that does it for me. Running does it for me. Like if I get over 5 miles, I'm gassed.
Hell yeah.
And even like I got a broken back too. I didn't know your back was messed up either.
Yeah.
So when you're telling me that, like that gets me amped up to just work on myself and what I do. Maybe instead of doing a 5 mile every time, maybe I do a 1 mile. Maybe I cut it back a little bit, see how far I can get with the consistency. So
it just takes 10 minutes, man.
Exactly. So it takes a short amount of time. But back to what I was saying about 3D, I'm amped up to do something, and that you have to push it, and it takes that discipline to push it a little farther. Maybe shrink your sleep. Do you really need 8 hours of sleep? Can you make it 7? Can you make it 6? How can you do that while also feeling re-energized? Can you re-energize yourself and doing other things? Like we were talking about with running. Running gets that blood pumping.
Right.
You don't need that sleep. That's why I like that one time that I ran.
But you can't replace.
You can't replace. Yeah. That's
sleep
also
with running.
No, please don't do that. You will die soon. Quickly.
I think I can replace like a few hours with it.
Yeah.
Like 8 hours. 8 hours, I'm perfect.
Right. So you wanted to ask me about sleep earlier, but we never got to it. So
yes.
What was your sleep question?
About rocks.
So actually, one of my coworkers, I'll give him a shout out. Drew, I think your last name is no, it's not Redman. That's your friend.
That's my friend.
I know, but I'm talking about a different Drew. Oh, coworker Drew from Summer Moon.
Shout out to Drew Redman too.
Shout out to Drew Redman, yeah, supporter of the Not Network podcast. Always coming in clutch for us. But yeah, so Drew was talking to me about, and I wanted to talk to with Joshua about this too. But it's about sleep therapy. Okay, so what can we do to amplify a better sleep? Number 1, not eating big bulky foods before we go to bed. Okay. Because our body's just going to keep digesting that, and it's going to keep us more awake, and our body's going to be working harder. Yeah. Number 2, doing something more relaxing, probably an hour before you go to bed. So listening to heavy metal, is probably not the best option. I get amped on heavy metal. Some Breaking Benjamin, even though that's like depressed shit.
Is that heavy metal?
It's like heavy indie, I guess.
Heavy indie?
Maybe like Five Finger, I would say is more on the lines of, but that's also, it can get depressing. Five Finger. Heavy metal, whatever you lean towards this side, whatever kind of artist.
I like System of a Down.
No, that's Korn. I'm thinking of Korn. You know Korn.
hate system. I can't not. But yeah, I'm super amped. Anyways, not going on your phone. Social media is bad. Getting that dopamine addiction like late at the end of the night.
I hate it.
But it's like having that discipline. It's like having that self-control. It's like I can't. I need phone. I need communication with other people. It's that desire, and it's that separating yourself from desire in the work that you're doing right now. And maybe the investment that you're gonna do, calling your friends, I love calling my friends. I know it takes a big chunk out of their time though. But like I was at work and my buddy Kelrick rang up and he's like, dude, I'm heading over. I'm not gonna say where he's heading over. I'm gonna make up a city. I'm heading over to Oklahoma City, and I'm just bringing a keg. Everywhere I go, I'm bringing a keg now. That's gonna be my thing. And
what
I'm
a fucking beast,
dude. Kelrick is a beast. He keeps on his story. He keeps posting all these like delicious kind of foods, and then like working out at the same time. This man's crazy.
What a character.
Where's my Nalgene? Right there. See that Nalgene right there?
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Right.
He can chug that entirely.
No.
In what? Just gulp. Just it's
Gulp.
Okay. If you saw like a man did that, that's a fucking big dick move. Okay.
100%.
That's freaking baller status.
BDE.
Like what?
Some BDE.
Some BDE. That's exactly. Yeah. Freaking baller. He can do that. I don't know where I was going with talking about Kellerick.
No clue. Talking with your friends.
Yes, talking with your friends, texting them. So that's how you can reinvest in yourself. Talking with other people, shooting them a text instead of going on the story and being like, "Oh, that's what you're doing." No, go interact with them. Go reach out to them. And people are depressed with this social media shit, and we were talking about earlier in our third podcast. It's that mental health awareness of reaching out to your friends and saying, "Hey, what up?
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay?"
Yeah, I'm still trying to get better at that. Like if somebody pops into my mind, just shoot him a quick text. Hey, thinking about you, bro. I hope you're doing all right.
Yeah.
How's everything going?
No intention whatsoever of getting their attention or trying to hang out. Maybe just checking up.
Yeah, it's always sad to me whenever you reach out to someone and they know that you're only reaching out for a specific reason, like you need something from them or you need a favor. I think that's really sad. I like to just reach out to someone just to be just for shits and gigs,
Same.
What's up? How you going? How are you going? What does that even mean?
How are you going? Where are you going? England?
Don't
what up, King?
Europeans say that? How are you going? Something like that.
I've never been
Europeans.
to Europe.
How is it?
How it do?
How it do be?
What's good? Oh, dude, I knew when you when you said what's good, I got a text from Jeb earlier this week, and he said what's good, and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard him say what's good to me, and so I'm thinking he has a certain vibe going on. Something's different about him. Something was. He was freaking amped up.
Oh,
he was gassed, man. And when I read his text, I was like, dude, I'm getting fired up with him. And so
yeah, dude.
I like texts like that, man.
Yeah.
I like what's good, dude.
Jimmy's really good at matching people's energy.
Right.
I try to mimic that because it feels good when I guess you're in a community that you feel a part of.
Yeah, man, it's charisma.
Is that charisma?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Never knew that.
I watched this YouTube channel called Charisma on Command.
I love that channel.
You've seen it?
Wait, other people watch that?
I've watched
Have you seen it too?
No way, yeah. I know
Really?
people watch that.
Yeah, it's really popular. Yeah. I think it's fun.
I've been contemplating taking this course.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called? Charisma U or something like that?
Yeah.
Charisma University.
Yeah. There you go. But it's $600.
One time or?
One-time payment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you get to keep the lesson plans, or is it
So this is a
live
whole
experience?
shit.
Yeah. It's a big ass course.
Okay.
But I guess you have lifetime access to it, so it
That's
doesn't.
cool.
$600 though.
Yeah.
It's a little pricey
For charisma.
So how much is charisma worth?
Wow. It depends on what you're gonna use it for.
If you
I think
were,
we're go ahead.
Picking up chicks.
wait, hold on. I want to hear what you're
No,
actually saying.
you go for it.
Okay. I think if you're surrounded in an environment full of charisma, then you can find that I wouldn't say you would have to take the course, but if you are maybe learning if you think that there's a need for it and to amp up your skills in the charisma factor, then absolutely. I've always loved people shouting out their courses, but when I look at a course with if it's a big chunk of money, I have to look at like the value it provides, especially with School of Motion. And that was the only design course I actually took. I was going to take a graphic design course. My dumbass was like a last minute decision. Illustration looks fun. Let me do that. Never even opened the course. $1,000.
Stop it.
Damn.
It hurt, dude. It really hurt. Like I still got like it helped me with this job too about story planning. And actually that's where I got all the Milanote and Notion tips.
I thought you were a genius this entire time.
No, it's not. Man. It's not me. It's not me. But yeah. I mean, yeah, that's an interesting. I didn't know he had a course.
Right.
But he pops in my feed a lot.
So how much? Oh, I was gonna say like how much is it really worth? I think it's priceless because.
Whoa.
That's bold deep. Statement.
That is bold.
It's a bold statement. Yeah, because if you think about how much charisma you can incorporate into yourself, or if you think about other people who are charismatic, you look at what they do, how they communicate, the power they command, or the attention they command, and if you could command that same type of attention in your life, in your careers, in your workplace, with your friends, like you become it's
a higher social level status, right?
Yeah, higher social level status, and then I feel like you can advance your career a lot further because people look to you to be like, hey Jimmy, you wanna speak at our event tonight? Hey Jimmy, you wanna speak at our conference tonight? Yeah. And you kind of become the leader without really, I guess, trying if you're just charismatic.
Ooh. You're bringing me this certain energy, this certain idea. It's unraveling in my mind right now. Oh my goodness. No, it's exactly what you're saying. It's like you are being yourself, and you are still commanding that same respect.
Right.
That is priceless. Yeah. Because if that's just ingrained in you, I don't know.
And you got to think about so having that charisma, like let's say you have it now.
Okay.
And you have level, let's see, between 10 is top. So let's say you have level 8 charisma, and that furthers your career by let's use money by 20 grand every single year, and you have and you have level 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every single year it's leveling up 20 grand. Now let's say you have charisma level 2 because you just suck.
You're just an asshole.
Everybody hates you.
Or just like let's say 5.
Okay.
And you're not bad, you're not good, you're just kind of whatever. Mm-hmm. And that increment is really only like $2,000 a year because you're just okay. Like you're not being looked at for that leadership position in your job. You're not being looked at for that supervisor role. Mm-hmm. And you think about how much that compounds over time. Just having that class can really expedite a lot of things for you.
True.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds stupid, but people want to be around people they like.
Right.
Like you can be good at a job, but the thing that could put you over the edge is your charisma, how well you get along with other people, how much you actually command a room. Someone who commands a room isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they can make a really good leader because everyone's eyes are on that person.
Right. Because you could be great at whatever you do, but if you're not able to, corral your troops and get everyone on the same page and get everyone to be on the same path, then like whatever experience you have, it just becomes almost useless because you're just a one-man show versus being a person that can control everyone and have everyone like, have you ever had a teacher in school and the class just ran?
Oh yeah.
They just ran the teacher. Mm-hmm. They ran the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And but you could tell like they're probably a nice person. They're probably very good at the subject they teach, within their own like personal like of them doing it. But if you just can't command a room, like you can get destroyed in a classroom setting.
That's a good example because there's a huge difference between someone who is like a really good and passionate teacher and someone holds a lot of charisma and can command a classroom, and someone who's just like brilliant at a subject. Not everyone who is brilliant at a subject should be teaching a class full of students.
Yeah, it's that performer.
Yeah, like
the,
you said,
the inner entertainer that brings out the teacher, and that makes me think of like my past experience of in the Boy Scouts of America. It sounds like a nerd shit, but like I swear,
Totally does.
it's the truth, dude. They there's this like youth leadership training that you can do, and like it was like 1 week, and it literally changes kids' perspectives on like how communication works, because it's all about communication,
Right.
but it's not just words, it's the nonverbal communication, and it's how you treat others. And it's I think like a even college level communications class, like there's certain levels that you gain in authority, whether that's skill level, whether that's the words you use, the environment you bring. And I think that's what Charisma on Command, right? That's the channel.
Yep.
That's what that value adds. I bet it's saying, number one, you need to know your shit. Number two, you need to communicate effectively. Number three, you need to learn about your people, and garner that respect. And then also have that little extra zest that kind of makes you strange and different. I freaking think Justin has. I think he has. He has a lot of zest.
Yeah, he does. He's a character. He's a personality.
Exactly. We were telling him he was a personality.
Yeah.
He was like, you should have this. You should have this.
And it's funny because he doesn't acknowledge it. Like we'll say it, and he won't be like, oh, thank you, or like he won't accept it. He'll just continue with whatever he's going on about.
Yes.
And it just ends up being really, really just entertaining. He's a funny guy.
Shout out to Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Justin.
Justin Noonan.
Yeah. Freaking cool, dude.
Yeah. Well, hey, we've learned charisma's priceless. Rocks can be salty. I think this is a full day that I've had.
Yeah. How long have we been talking?
Almost over 2 hours.
Oh shit.
Holy crap.
I know.
I didn't mean to take up too much of your time, Jeb.
That's fine, man.
You've got a bit of a what's the word? Trip. That's not what I'm.
Trek.
Trek. Yeah, you've got a little bit of trek
Voyage.
home.
Yeah.
A
No
voyage,
worries.
a journey.
Definitely want to get you home safe, Jeb.
This pod has been a journey though.
Yeah, spiritual, emotional,
Nice.
physical.
I feel like we touched the surface. That's what I feel like.
Did you?
I feel like we got down in the deeps, down in the grime a bit. But like I feel like we can go on and on and on with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Surface, man.
Exactly. That's why I really appreciate you coming on, Jeb, for your perspective through this all. Because like I said, I think you'd be like just a fantastic interviewer of just kind of taking it to the next level and go deep, because you don't just ask like career-wise perspective level type questions. It's also the social, the physical, just like reaching a bit, and you're wording it correctly so you have like both hands around it when you're it's hard to explain, but your questions.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good visualization.
I know y'all can't see it, but I'm reaching my hands, and one hand is like my questions, and then two hands reaching is like Jeb's questions.
Yeah, it's like just scooping information.
like ice cream.
Oh, I hate this analogy that you always say about the spoon.
This is what I learned. Okay, Jeb. So I don't know if I told you, but
What is it?
life is like
Boxy chocolates?
Yeah, Jimmy came up with that one. Actually,
yes. Yeah, I learned that Forrest learned that from me. I'm actually a very old man. Or Forrest's mom.
Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Life is like mom always said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know
bad
which one
impression.
you're gonna get. That's a freaking great impression. Dude, I was at Twisted Root. I made the best impressions there. Best. I can confidently say second best. I can make the second best, okay? Confidently say that. My boss Mickey, freaking skill. Anyways, what was I saying? Dude, I'm so freaking amped. I keep hitting my nose on this shit.
Bro, you had half a can of NOS, and you're like this, my guy.
Dude.
Oh, you had the full.
Full
Oh, this,
can.
don't. Oh, he drank the rest.
Okay.
We need it.
I'm not sleeping tonight. Fuck sleep, okay? No, respect sleep. Sleep therapy is good, and we're just not sleeping, so we don't need.
What is
sleep
sleep therapy?
Right. So I think that's what we're talking about. So it's just treating the before sleep time and getting ready for sleep more intentional.
Gotcha.
So
Makes sense.
like maybe instead of me reading in the morning, I go work out in the morning and then I read at night.
Yeah.
Or the other way around, because I do get really tired after I work out. So it's easier for me to go to sleep. I like going to sleep like I feel like I've like lifted the world on my shoulders, you know? Feels
Yeah.
like good, you know?
No, that feels fantastic. You feel like you accomplished it.
Yes.
You conquered
Like
the
a day's
world.
behind you.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like Despicable Me. You ever seen that with the pillars and like when they're in the they roasted the fuck. I forgot their name. But this is one bake that caused the financial collapse of 2008. It had their name and then like the Bank of Evil. Anyways, in this hallway, they have like this man lifting the world and he's getting smaller and smaller until he's crushed by the world. But that's what I feel like. Except I'm not going to get crushed.
You could if you don't sleep.
Jeb, that's why you're here. You're here to ground me. You're like the cables in the car that just like
say, Jeb, this is why nobody likes you.
No, for real. Jeb's like we were talking about sleep deprivation and Jeb's like, if you don't sleep, that causes dementia. And I forgot about that. So, maybe I will take a snooze.
Yeah, you should take it. You pull the most all-nighters of anyone I've ever met, dude.
Really?
Yes, by far.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I've stayed up all night like 3-4 times in my whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I think I've only stayed up like maybe 3 times.
No.
I think so.
No.
I stayed up one night playing D&D and then had a photo shoot tomorrow morning at like 7 a.m. When driving this kid back home, his name is Ben, at like 4 o'clock. I literally slept on the road. I don't know how we made it home and survived. I almost wrecked like 3 times. He was sleeping next to me. Sleep is very important. To your point, Jeb. Jeb, I'm gonna respect. I'm gonna respect those ideas tonight.
I will say. So you're 20. I'm 27 right now.
You're 27.
27.
You're
Dude,
elder.
Holy crap!
We've been over this too.
Dude, I know, but like you seem like you're like 24. You seem so much younger
Jimmy's
than you
always
are.
flabbergasted by people's ages.
I am. You carry this youthfulness with you.
You act like 27 is like decrepit.
God.
No.
Like, you don't seem that old. You seem 3 years younger.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's true because like I don't know. It's I always.
Well, I will say I've always felt like people are around my age whenever I've met people. So
Okay. Yeah, I feel like you're more around my age, and that's why I relate it to. Like, I think you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem 27, bro.
Well, what I was gonna say was, I think you can get away with a lot of all-nighters at this age.
Your body's very forgiving.
Yes, there you go. Perfect wording right there.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get 25, you'll start needing that sleep.
Feeling it.
Yeah. But
that
doesn't mean push it, but push it.
Take advantage. What's that quote you like to say? I don't want to.
It's outside on the calendar.
I love that quote, by the way. I love it. I saw it.
That's what it is.
Fantastic.
It's
How does it go?
I don't. It's right there.
I don't want to miss the old days when I was capable because I gave it up to be more comfortable. So right now you're capable.
Shit. I like honestly, like I think that's the real shit. Like if you have opportunity, go for it. Like, and what we were talking about earlier about like like sugar and how we can benefit like our communities and ourselves. Like we do good shit and then we spread that everywhere else. If we have the ideas, if we have the energy, if we can do it, not being selfish and spending all of our time to ourselves, we can do that. I'm also really, really amped up on Nas, but
dude, you're speaking a million miles an hour.
It's Jeb. Jeb just gets me so fired up, dude.
It's nothing but hype up in here,
energy.
man.
Yeah, I love that quote. I saw it. I took a picture of it earlier too. Actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's another one hidden behind it too.
Okay.
But I think quotes from people that we love are important because it matches our ideals and it also keeps it in focus too.
Okay.
Inspiration.
You don't know, Jeb, but I have a quote of yours in my phone.
Wow.
That I hold close to my heart, right there. And I fucking said this yesterday, but I'm gonna have a wall. Okay, it's gonna be my fucking quote wall. I'm saying the F word. I shouldn't say
of
that.
friends.
F for friends.
No, I meant a quote wall of things your friends have said.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So Jeb, yours is my phone charged? My phone keeps dying, everybody. But Jeb, you said a quote that's always stuck with me that nobody's ever said to me.
Okay.
And you said, "You're a killer. Go kill some shit." And I was like, "Holy shit!"
You said that to Tommy.
Huh?
You tweeted that at Tommy.
Because Tommy's a fucking killer too.
And he needs to go kill some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, your phone is hella dead. I wish you could show Jeb your left leg right now.
Does it need to be amputated?
Well, yeah.
No, because Jimmy forgets that he has a quote on his leg. He has
That's
a
my
tattoo.
right leg.
Oh, it's on your right leg.
Yeah. Have you seen my tattoo?
No, I didn't know you had one.
He has a full quote on his thigh.
Wait.
Can you get it that high?
I can take
I
my
don't know,
pants
you've
off.
Yeah, take your pants off.
Are y'all comfortable with that? All right, hold up.
We gotta see.
Wait, they gotta hear the.
Who's pulling the zipper down?
I'll do it.
With your teeth?
Oh, here we go.
No, dude. Here we go.
All right, I'm excited for this. All right, I can't read it since it's upside down for me, but let me get a little closer here. It says good ideas don't make memories. Good ideas don't, by J.R.H.
There you go.
Wow.
So let me get situated real quick.
Yeah, put your pants back on.
Good
Jimmy.
idea.
This is pathetic.
So this is a tattoo above his kneecap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's in a very sensual area.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay. I always liked.
It's hairy, upside down.
So it's
Just
not upside down.
discombobulated.
So that's the thing is you said it's upside down.
Well,
but
for you to read. Yeah.
Shut up.
You make fun of me,
Shut
but it's
up.
the truth, okay? When somebody looks at you and looks at your body, I feel like this to my core. Like, you can do stuff for other people. I have no qualms with that. But if you're going to have a tattoo and if you're going to have it for yourself, then you need it for yourself. So I put it in my orientation.
Dude, I
and
totally
so when
agree.
you come in my orientation, you also get that same perspective.
Yeah.
And then it relates. So it's like, God.
This sounds like what 6ix9ine, the artist, was trying to tell everyone about his name.
Well, it makes sense to me.
Listen, here's the thing.
All right, so tell us about that quote.
So high school wasn't great for me. There was this one guy that just got my stoke up. His name is John Riley Henderson. Little did I know that I had basketball camp with his little brother, like in the 7th grade. I had no idea. I met this guy my sophomore year, freshman year, or something like that. Anyways, he played the trombone like a fucking bomb. He was so good. Like,
Oh, that's a good thing.
freaking good. Like, I was a boner too. So we were in the Bones together, and it was me and
Bone
my
squad.
Boner.
Boner, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Tromboners.
Okay.
The boners.
Got it.
That's what we call ourselves. We should have had like a flag or something just to assert our dominance. But
A boner flag.
yeah, he was so good. He was nice. He was in like the youth orchestra or something like that. But anyways, we would always try to get better than him, and he always just brought good vibes. And he's a poet. He's an actor. Very into the arts. Very educated, and he's very articulate with his words. I'm actually gonna send you this link because I think you'll like his shit.
Okay.
But he once, just as a joke, he once said that good ideas don't make memories, and I feel like that's a good thing just to keep in mind. I don't think you should tattoo that on your leg, or that's like some deep inspirational quote.
Yeah. What does that mean to you? Because
We don't register with that.
I'm trying to find some meaning to it.
So I think sometimes I'm a very structured person. I've always grown up, private education, going to the Boy Scouts. But I've learned most of all that the memories that I keep and hold near and dear to me, they didn't have a plan. They were just kind of like, fuck it, let's have some fun and let's feel it out. And I feel like I have a good enough, I don't want to say perfect, but a good enough moral compass that I can say, fuck it, and I won't do something that will destroy my life. So,
Like heroin.
yeah, exactly.
Black tar.
Yeah, we shouldn't be doing those things. That's a bad idea.
Or coke. Yeah, no cocaine. That'll help me not sleep though.
sick.
But it's I think of it like that, is that sometimes you kind of have to play with a bad idea, and that will stay with you kind of forever. And that bad idea, ironically can turn up to be a good idea, but sometimes you can say, fuck it, let's do something and crazy, and let's go for it, and let's just work our asses off for this. Like, this podcast probably wasn't a good idea. Like, this podcast honestly probably wasn't just a terrible idea. I just wanted to give a voice out to everybody, for us just to speak and talk. But like, it turned into something beautiful that we started bullshitting at first, but then we started discovering these amazing artists and people that have something to say.
Yeah.
I'm glad you weren't talking about this specific podcast.
Yeah. Doing this one with you has just been, it was a terrible
this wasn't
idea.
a good idea. I thought about it. So no, actually, Tesla was one of the main reasons why I started this podcast, is because of the people I met there. So yeah, you
Interesting.
include,
Yeah.
you
It was right
included-
after that we started this.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, it was. It was. I literally said, I know people at Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people work Tesla. They would be great for this. So,
Jebediah.
so yeah, you were definitely an inception.
What is? Do you have a full name or is it just Jeb?
It's just Jeb.
Okay.
Jeb Gabriel.
I knew it wasn't Jebediah,
Pasillas.
but that was
Gabriel Pasillas.
Gabriel, can you roll
like the
your
angel.
R's?
Yeah.
Really?
You don't think he
Oh,
could?
shit.
He said he was Mexican.
Yeah.
You don't think he could roll his R's?
That's sexy as fuck. I cannot roll my R's to save my life. Red.
Nice. That was pretty
Rojo.
close. Rojo.
Car.
Caro.
Can you do it like at the end of a syllable? Like,
Yeah. With carro.
shit, dude. I'm getting chills, man. People, dude, you gotta calm down, man. People listen to this
No,
podcast.
He'll,
This is
he'll
high
take his
fide-
pants off again if you don't be
Yeah, I
careful.
know, right? Dude, we got some high quality microphones on you, okay?
I know they sound nice.
You got some.
Yes, sir.
You got some powers with those. Okay?
Mm.
With that R.
Mm.
Mm.
Yo, but
God.
related to that quote, I was thinking about it some more. I think to me, it means, do something. Don't just say you're gonna do it.
Yes,
Beast.
that's what I mean. That's putting those ideas and then articulating it beautifully.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Okay, so I'm gonna learn that from you. I'm gonna learn probably don't speak, think before I speak. My grandmother always said that. After she said, "What an idiot," she'd always say, "Think before you speak, Jimmy." Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Phyllis Salamone.
Salamone. I think we need to have Jeb as your official translator on the podcast from now on. You can like whisper what your thought is into his ear, and then he can articulate it perfectly for you.
It's so wild. People in school said I needed a translator.
Ouch.
Yeah, it just followed me.
Was your English that bad?
It was actually a lot worse. I was very dry. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm a very dry, very dry person. And so when I'd say sarcastic things, people are like, "You really think that? Wow, you're fucking just batshit crazy." So they didn't know I was being sarcastic, but
So I get that sometimes too.
I do believe that.
Because I'll be serious. Well, I'll say it in a serious tone, and I'm assuming people know that I'm joking because,
It's outlandish.
because it's completely just ridiculous.
Mhm.
So, but then when people believe or they question it, I'm like, damn it, like, don't you think I'm a good person? Like,
Yeah, the same exact thing I go through.
Wow. I don't.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
You do.
I know. I use sarcasm probably far too much, but I feel like it comes across fairly well when I do. Like I feel like people don't think I mean a lot of the things that I actually say.
When I first
Hopefully.
when I first met you, like it was kind of the vibe that I hope you don't mind me saying this, but it was
Go
like the vibe that you were kind of like this asshole, and then I was like, Matthew, but he does his what you do surpasses and speaks for itself of how much you care.
Yeah.
And so when you say these sarcastic phrases, it's so outlandish to think that you actually believe that.
Mhm.
And that's why I like laughed at like and still do like all the funny shit you say. It's because
Yeah.
I know that deep down from what you've done, it just surpasses what you say. And it's good to relax. It's good to be in a fun environment where you
cut
can
up.
just say stupid shit.
Yeah, let my character speak louder than my words.
Yeah.
so you said, Jimmy, whenever you first saw me at Tesla, you said something about me having a shaved head.
Yeah, that was the thing he noticed.
So what was that energy or that that first thought you had?
And dude, like I said, I was intimidated as fuck. Okay, so you're
Thought
like
some
I said,
ROTC
you're-
kid.
You're honestly, your biceps were the size of my calves, and I got some honking calves. Okay, so this swole motherfucker just comes like up, and when you stand up straight. Okay, there's no fucking around with you. You got good posture, and that's clean as fuck, and I respect that. Okay, man. So he's standing up straight. He's looking like a freaking baller, and like he's already been there a day before me, and I'm like, he's already in it right now. You were already speaking Spanish. I was thinking you were a stone cold blooded killer, dude. And you got some crisp eyebrows too. So you got this dark, you got a dark complexion, and you're like, it's like you know what's up, okay? So you're standing up straight, you're just looking, no emotion, okay? And I'm getting
It's
this
hard.
vibe from you. And you also had the Photoshop hard drive, where I was like, okay, so he's into it. He knows like what all the other creatives know. just Photoshop. And I'm so glad you said you torrent Photoshop. So did I when I first got it. That's a common theme on here. And so it's like that was my first impression with you. And if you didn't, and also that's why I appreciated you asking questions too, especially to me, because I don't think I'd ever ask a question to you. But when you started, that invitation, it just kind of got me more curious and, just kind of broadened my horizons too. So, but that was, it was just intense. I wouldn't say intimidate. I won't mainly say intimidate, but like intense. Like if we were on the street and like I scratched your car, like I would run away, So you're right. I do need to be built up more to look like Clark Kent, so I can I can compete with that. But yeah, I thought you were a freaking G.
Yeah. No, it's true what you said about the posture too, because when you walked in earlier, dude, I was like, this dude's fucking 6'3". Seriously. Yeah. And when you sat down and Jimmy, for whatever reason, your height came up. I don't know if you care spilling the beans. You were like, yeah, I'm like 5'11 3/4. I was like, you're joking. That's just a joke. And I thought you were being funny because it was so obvious that you were not 5'11. I thought that was like a joke that you were making.
No, so I was just telling you 5'11", and then the joke for me was saying 5 3/4.
Okay.
Because
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I seriously thought you were like super tall for whatever reason.
And I actually thought you were referencing that one tweet that like no guy ever says they're 5 or 6 foot because they're actually 5'11". Nobody says they're 5'11" because.
Well, you sent that to me because you don't believe that I'm 5'11".
I don't believe you're 5'11". Okay, dude, it's crazy, dude.
We literally measured it. It's penciled into the wall.
It's penciled in the wall, dude. I grew 3/4 of an inch. Posture.
Dude, you know what we should start doing?
What should we start doing?
Sidebar. Whenever we have people in the studio, we should start taking their height on the wall.
Dude, that's a fucking bet.
Because you're the second person that's actually come in live in the studio.
I know. And Briley.
We got to get Lane and Briley.
We got Briley on there, right?
Yeah, Briley's on there. We got to get Lane, and then we gotta get you on there, Jeb.
Is it a piece you can rip off the wall? 'Cause if you have that little sliver of wood that has everyone's height on there.
And then we could sell it for millions.
There you go.
NFT shit.
NFT, dude. No, it's just we'll probably have to erase it whenever we move out. But it's just I don't know. It's neat. We can take a picture of it.
I love that sidebar. That's great. Yeah, Jeb, your posture commands presence, and I fucking hate.
Nice.
I'm gonna call out somebody right now. I hate tall people when they slouch because I'm short and I'm doing everything I can to be taller.
Yeah. Like he's even sitting up straighter now.
I know.
I'm sitting up straighter now too. Like
you sat up straighter, I sat up straight. Well, because I've been a little uncomfortable sitting in this chair, which I was a little pulled back, like Justin with his running camels. Yeah.
T-Rex kind of thing. Shoulders are important because
So I actually wish this was a standing podcast. The standing podcast would I'd enjoy a lot.
We need
we need another table like this guy. That's why I have this desk set up, is because it's a lot easier. I have found myself like slouching a bit, like trying to lean.
Yeah.
I'm weak. Just to get harder, better, faster, stronger.
Nice. Rip Daft Punk.
And if you stand, your voice sounds better too.
Really?
Yeah.
I already can.
You can project a little more.
No,
exactly.
Your voice already sounds so much better, Matthew.
Yeah. Nice.
Matthew's standing right now. You can't see it.
Yeah, I feel so much taller. It's crazy.
I mean, you look taller too, like from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, we've all been sitting for a while now, so you look huge now.
Yeah.
Does I think tallness commands charisma.
Yeah, sex for short people.
Well, yeah. Well, I think yeah, like a physical, personal tallness. I guess the posture and standing up straight conveys confidence.
This is also with design. Okay.
It is
using space.
For sure.
Okay, space commands power, right?
Oh, yeah.
So does size, okay? Even people with broad shoulders, they can be skinny as fuck, but they would be a lot better than having some buff short guy because they would take up more space. And that's the definition. That is by definition what power is just taking up space. It could be social, physical, mental, psychological. Holy fuck, mental? Letting people live inside your head?
Damn. Then they have power over you. It's the truth.
Holy fuck.
Your thoughts control you, dude. Breakthrough. Breakthrough.
I'm stoked right now, dude.
Yeah.
Design your environment.
Design.
Oh, fuck. It's like Clash of Clans up in here, dude.
We're making a loop. We're in full circle.
Design is everywhere. So there's a podcast called Design. I believe it's called Design is Everywhere.
I was about to grab my phone.
And it just talks about design from the aspect of like, how businesses are built to like the design of like how a sewer treatment plant does its thing.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow, I love sewer treatment plants. Bullshit.
Nice.
Yeah, build your habits up, man.
Mm.
Get some good habits going.
Yeah. Jeb, what would you like to say to the world? Would you like to plug anything? What do you want to leave off on this podcast? We'll give you a moment for some words of wisdom, introspection, and good vibes and good posture.
Yeah, get a fitness routine going. I think fitness routine would probably be number one. Get your sleep right, get your habits right, and design your environment, design your habits, design everything that you want, and you'll accomplish those big ass goals you got. Step by step.
Beautiful.
Maybe one more question.
What's up?
What does fitness have to do with anything? Because there's great designers and they look physically unhealthy.
Baddies.
Yeah. It's your mental. It improves your mental capabilities. It improves your physical posture. Whenever you get old. So I want to be a guy that's 80 years old, still being able to lift weights, still being able to hit a sprint if he wants to, and not have any sort of like, I just fucked up my hip, but trying to run, trying to go up these stairs,
trying to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
Like you plop on the couch and you're like, I just threw out my back. Like I want to have the most strongest and able body into old age. So, you're most physically fit or most physically capable in your 20s, and you're probably at your peak in your mid to late 20s. So might as well get that to just as best as possible, man, and just have that leading towards your 30s and 40s, and have those habits established early on, so you just keep it going. Because you only have one body, and if you're just slouched on the computer all day, your back's gonna hurt. Whenever you go play with your kids, whenever you have kids, like your dad is gonna be hurting because he's in pain because he didn't take care of himself whenever he was younger. And yeah, I was on the phone with my friend yesterday, just telling him how fitness is one of my big things in my life, and I want it to be a big thing for all the people in my life, all my friends. And yeah, I just think you can mitigate a lot of problems later on in life with fitness.
Totally. And you want to be around people for longer. That's really what it comes down to. So you want to live a long, and not just a long life, but like
the
full life.
The quality of life that you're living whenever you're older. Because if you can go out and have fun and you're 80, but then your friends can't go because like they can't move, they can't do what you're doing, and they're just not living. So I'm trying to live the highest quality of life as possible. So that's what it comes down to.
Beautiful.
That's a solid advice. Perspective, yeah.
Solid.
I liked especially the father-son comparison, because like as young folks, and I do include you into this. We don't think of that.
Yeah.
At like, you don't think of that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's like one thing, like as a guy, you want to have a hot girlfriend,
right?
Like, how are you gonna want to have a hot girlfriend whenever you're not taking care of yourself to be that, that opposite representation of that, or not opposite, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just
what you wanna attract.
Yeah.
And what you want to build off from that. Yeah.
Right.
Totally makes sense.
And it'll improve your confidence. It'll improve your. I commanded attention whenever I walked in this apartment.
Yeah, you did. True.
It's not because I wasn't thinking about that, but that's just a result of physical fitness.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I was even talking to Pasha about with Sarah today. That's a wild thing. I told her like I have like this nerd neck going on here and like
Nerd neck.
pictures. Dude, I'm serious. Like I'm like handing out things and like you can see me like I'm a fucking goose. I'm just not I'm like a duck. What is this? What is this creature that does?
A chicken? Like
chickens
a
do
pecking
this?
chicken?
Like I'm in the middle of a mid-peck chicken when I'm handing out these things. It looks really bad. And you're right. It does improve your confidence. You feel you're looking higher. Chest up, chin up. That's why they say that. Chin up. Chin up.
Dude, I'm still stuck on mid-peck chicken.
Jeb, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for the insight, wisdom. Thank you for a job. Thank you for being a great friend, a great mentor. And thank you for building your life as an example for other people to see. Because I do think you're an example, and I really respect you for that and appreciate it.
I appreciate those words because I don't feel like I have it all figured out. Like you're like it's coming across right now. Because I'm still definitely working on myself every single day.
That's the thing that I admire is that you're still working on it and you're not afraid to share the experiences or share that you say, I don't have this figured out, which is commendable. And
that's
it goes
that
back to our
self-awareness we were
conversation.
talking about, man.
Is what?
It's that self-awareness, self-recognition.
Yeah. And ego too.
Ego
Plays a part of that.
Ego, more like he go.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for the wine. Thank you for having me on here. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jeb, for coming on and sharing your wisdom, your perspective, and your thoughts on everything that we talked about. I was definitely stoked to have you, and so was Matthew, and we hope you enjoy that wine. Anyways, if you missed where to find Jeb, we have everything linked in the show notes. Go check him out. Peace. So this is like an ending of part 2 of Jeb, but I was talking to him this morning and he sent me a little text and he said he wants to he has a take on some of the closing thoughts that we left off about fitness. And the main thing about it is I'll just let him say it.
Hey Jimmy, I was reevaluating what I said on the podcast for my closing statement about fitness, and I wanted to change that to start building good habits. Evaluate current habits, get rid of the old ones, bring in the new, and to tie it back to what I originally said, I feel that having good fitness habits, both physically and mentally, have the most impact on each individual. You will get a visual representation of how impactful good habits are. It will build mental toughness when you work out on the days you don't want to, and you're building both a healthier body and healthier mind. Other habits are so much easier to put into context when relating it to fitness. So that's kind of how fitness ties back into it, but definitely just start building good habits. Start having the days that you want to have. So if you want to read, make sure that's scheduled in there. If you want to work out, make sure that's scheduled in there. If you want to talk on the phone with a friend, make sure it's scheduled in there. And allow yourself to have the day that you want to have, not the day that's given to you.